Hello and welcome to another episode of Do Go On. My name is Dave Waterkey, and as always, I'm here with Matt Stewart and Jess Perkins.
Hello, Dave. That was a nice touch. Little point at Jess.
A little. No, I
just saw it out of the periphery. It tickled me.
I gave a little point at the camera because we've started cutting out clips for TikTok and Instagram, so the cameras are always rolling. I just thought it'd be funny. I said, "Welcome to Do Go On." Point to the camera. But then you laughed.
Why would we ever use the intro as a clip on TikTok?
It's the idea of I don't know, one day whoever's editing the videos, Simon or Jam, fantastic work. If they ever see that back, it made me laugh.
Yeah, it's for them more than anything.
I reckon we should do an episode where we just record put the whole thing at one time. Maybe this could be that one.
This could be it. Thumbs up. Welcome to the show. How are you going?
Personally, yeah, I'm doing fantastic. 2024, what a year to be alive. Even though we're recording this in 2023, that doesn't matter.
Shut up.
In this podcast, we're in the future.
Yes.
And I'm loving it. It's fine.
How's your January?
January, more like fabulous wary.
Yes. That'd be better for February,
That would be way better for February.
Okay. Jan, man, what a good time I'm having, you wary.
God, that's good.
That's better.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Thank
it's good.
you.
I'm glad we workshopped that.
That's your best work since Blockbuster-tober. And Jess, how are you?
I'm dressed as Luigi today.
We have to put the video out now.
Yeah. And I won't be taking any questions.
It's a you, Jess.
But apart from that, I just wish I was never born. So, you know.
That's funny because I was just thinking, how good is it to be alive?
Wow.
That's a bit of a rhetorical question, but feel free to answer it if you want to, Dave.
Fantastic. That's what I was angling for when I asked how you're both going. I don't genuinely care.
You didn't want me to talk about the fact that I look like Luigi.
No.
Okay.
No one needs to know.
So we're just sort of dancing monkeys with our catchphrases now,
Yeah,
are we?
it's a human catchphrase to me.
Look, I think that might be the time to retire them then. I don't know when we started them, but maybe today's the day
Okay.
they stop.
Do you want to end them?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's kill them. You kill mine, I'll kill yours.
Great.
Did you bring your gun?
Of course. I never go anywhere without it. And then next week, we'll have new catchphrases.
Yeah.
How about that?
As soon as people start saying, do your catchphrase, then I'm out.
I agree. I'm not a sellout.
It was fun before now.
Yeah, you've ruined it, Dave. As per usual, you ruin everything.
You ruin everything.
Anyway, thanks for having us on your podcast.
It's so good to be here on your podcast, Dave.
Thank you so much for joining me.
On your podcast.
On my podcast.
Yes.
But honestly, I know it is my podcast, but Matt, how would you describe what you think this is?
What I think it is, what I know it is. I came up with this concept. So what it is the three of us are friends. And from our friendship, a love has grown for knowledge.
Correct.
And each week, one of us goes away by ourselves and researches a topic, usually suggested by a listener.
The other two missed them because they've gone off by themselves.
He's like, come
we yearn
back.
for them for
we
a
yearn
bit.
for you and we yearn for your new knowledge.
Sorry,
right.
I need to go to the catacombs to get some knowledge.
So then once we return from the catacombs back into the podcast studio, we bring that knowledge sort of in a pretty, light-ish report. It's kind of like almost like you'd do in a high school year 11 oral presentation.
I love that you're like, not good enough for year 12, but year 11.
We finished school decades ago and yet continue to do this to ourselves, which is smart.
I love doing it.
Someone said to me recently...
School was when I peaked. Did you know I was the homecoming king?
And queen.
You're on the float?
Yeah.
Wow. Were you the quarterback?
Yeah, I was on the float. I was the quarterback.
Whoa. Were you also the lead in the musical?
I did my knee the day the scouts were there, though, from the
No.
NFL, which was unlucky. Yeah, I'll never live up to those heights again. That's why I love doing the show.
Yeah.
Because it makes me remember those good times of high school.
And you're the queen bee of this show.
Yeah, I am the queen bee. That's right, bitch.
Still flushing my head down the toilet as well.
Yeah, and I've got a cherry bomb that's going to go in after you later.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
That's going to hurt.
I'm taking that up a notch. So, yes, we bring the report back to the class and then we tell the other two who don't know what the topic is.
Yes.
We tell them the story. They interject and for some listeners are quite tedious and go on some dog shit riffs, which some people hate, some people love. I think the people who stick with the show love and the people who don't.
Yeah, they're just not our people. It's fine. There's lots of other podcast history and otherwise out there.
There's too many. There's so many podcasts.
So this week, Jess has done the research on a topic.
You yearned for me while I was gone.
Oh, we yearned so hard.
Mm-hmm.
And now Jess is going to get onto that topic with a question for me and Dave. Jess, what is your question this week?
It's a two-part question. Names are your buzzers.
Okay.
Okay?
Names of our buzzers. Okay.
Yes. So your first part of the question is this. Name the ABC presenter known for his bushy beard and gardening expertise. Matt?
I said My name from now on is
Okay, you're out. So, Matt?
Oh my God. It's, of course, what is his? It's a Greek name.
Sorry, that was a buzz. That's not. I'm not saying you're incorrect because you are actually on the money.
Right track.
On the right track.
Yep.
Is it start with S or A?
Neither.
Great. Are you going to do this for the whole alphabet?
J. Costas.
Costa.
I'm afraid we'll have to take Custos.
Couscous is the correct answer. Costa is correct.
Costa Concordia.
Dave.
Oh, no.
Let me read out part 2. Name the now discontinued supersonic passenger carrying commercial airplane known for its sleek appearance and high-speed capabilities. I think I heard Dave.
I'm going to say Concorde for that one.
Okay,
Jess.
put them together, Dave.
Costa Concord.
Correct.
I'm afraid Dave changed his name to so none of that was.
He also said Costa Concord. Matt, do you want to have a go? Yes, Matt.
Costa Concordia.
Correct.
No, to be fair, you did say now put them together, which I did.
Now put them together.
Where's the ER from? It's a 3-part question, Jess.
Oh, well, it's more than the sum of its parts, mate. You put those two together, you're going to get an ear.
The question is, what do you hear with? Costa Concord ear.
Ear.
Is that right?
Correct.
I feel like a group effort.
People can comment on Spotify, the podcast, and on one recently, they had a go at how Dave, you and I, an Irishman said that they can't stand how we say cobra. And
it should be cobra?
Is that how the Irish say cobra?
I have no idea.
It's funny because I actually say cobra.
Oh, do you?
But you say cobra. So I feel like we've got both bases covered there.
Well, maybe there's a third Irish base.
Get the third base with an Irishman.
My
that's
God.
the dream.
That is the dream.
Look, I don't know, Jess, you're the best at doing an Irish. Can you think of how you would say cobra?
Cobra.
Kubra. Oh, like a kubra. They must be confused when I'm talking about hats.
Yeah.
I'm going to go grab my kubra. What? Put it on your head?
Don't do that. Don't put a cobra on your head.
No, I'm not putting a cobra. I'm putting a kubra.
I think we're getting lost.
I can see why they're confused. But Costa Concordia, I'm very excited about this.
Yes.
It's one of those ones that I'm aware of the headline of it.
Of course.
No more information.
Yeah. And I mean, it was well within our lifetime. It was in 2012.
Yeah.
So we were aware of it in the news and stuff like that.
Yep.
It's been suggested by a lot of people, including, there's so many, Jem Haddett from Brighton in the UK, John Macacon from New Jersey, John Bowery from North Shields, Dan Marshall from Mitcham in Melbourne, Tristan Thornton from London, Lauren from Bristol, Michelle L. Huber from St. Louis, Jamie Alcantara from London, Alison Beverly Day from Lehigh in Utah, Victor from Madrid, Tom Langford from the UK, and Ben Johnson from Milton Keynes.
Oh, a lot of Europeans.
Yeah.
I'm guessing this is a European event based on the suggestions.
Do you not know much about it either?
No, I think it's a boat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a boat.
Okay, great.
And I think...
Is it Italian?
Yes.
Okay, there you go. I said Europe.
Yeah, and that counts.
So Italy's in Europe, Dave.
Yes.
Yeah, I was adding...
He was narrowing it down.
This was a yes and rather than a correction moment.
No, that just feels like an actually.
No, this is a team building game.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, your team building sucks.
This isn't team building right now, Dave. This is team tearing it apart.
Boys.
You're tearing my team apart.
Lisa,
thank you. Oh my God, weird episode.
Yeah, weird energy. It is hot.
I'm not used to being sitting in the middle.
You and I have swapped places.
I'm swiveling.
For the first time in about, since we've been in this studio, which has been, 2 years? We've always sat there.
How do you do this, Jess?
Yeah.
From where I was sitting, I just looked straight ahead at you
Totally.
two.
I'm actually loving this.
This sucks.
Yeah.
You tricked me.
I think it's fine when one of you's doing the report because I tend to just sort of turn that way. So, yeah, I'd be sitting like you are now, just sort of facing me and fuck Dave off.
But I'm over here.
But when you're doing the report, it's hard because I find I often look at Dave a lot more, and then every now and then I'm like, whoop, better throw one over to Matt.
But that's because I'm needier than he is.
Yeah, and you're better to look at.
Thank you.
Anyway, the Costa Concordia was a 290-metre luxury cruise ship built by Carnival Corporation in 2004. I think it was like slightly bigger or longer than the Titanic.
That's almost 300 meters is so long.
It's so big, isn't it?
It's unbelievable.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
Like, it's so long that Usain Bolt would get tired running from one side to the other.
that'd be a
probably.
par 4 on a golf course.
Par 4.
I guess. I don't know. Maybe it'd be a short par 4, I guess.
We both have different scales.
It's however you like to. I mean, how many Olympic pools would it be?
Oh, 6.
Okay. So, it's like we all just have different scales.
Yeah.
There were 13 public decks, each named after a European country. Do you want to have a stab at any of the decks?
Sweden.
Yes.
Nigeria.
Hey, he hasn't
No.
finished. Hasn't finished.
Nicaragua. No.
Still no.
Norway.
No.
Italy.
Yes.
Any N1s?
No.
Okay. Well, I was just wondering if maybe as a medium I was feeling it.
I'm
Is there
getting
a-
N.
am I
sorry,
getting-
I'm sorry. Was that an M?
Maybe it was an M? Somewhere in the middle. Is it somewhere in LMNO? LMNM.
L.
P. Elemental P.
LMNOP.
And there is a P.
Yes, Portugal.
No. Portugal is correct, actually. Yes.
Thank you.
Portugal is
There's
one. There's
another
another
P?
P.
Poland.
Poland, correct. One that sounds like us.
Austria.
Correct.
Roger.
Dave's from there.
Germany.
Correct. I'm from there.
Ireland.
Correct.
Irish people will hate that.
They do hate
There's
that.
an Irish person there going,
You're not from there.
You're not from there.
And I say, have a fucking look at me, okay? Okay? I got really fair skin.
Okay.
I got dark hair. I got green eyes. Okay?
They hate it.
Yeah, but it's
I'm fifth generation Australian. Thank you so much.
to that person, I'd say, all right, Cobra, because that'll annoy him.
That'll really fucking get him.
Yeah.
That'll get 'em.
Ones we've missed, I think, are Holland, Belgium, Greece, Great Britain, France, Spain.
I'm so glad you didn't make us keep going. That's a huge list.
It's a huge
It
list.
almost sounds like we would have struggled to miss. It's everywhere in Western Europe, basically.
Yeah. I
But
thought
there's-
it'd be kind of fun.
That is
But
fun.
there's a
So
big FU to Norway.
Yeah.
Mm.
Really upsetting.
that's fun. So you'd say like tonight on the Sweden deck,
Yeah.
we'll be having a little bit of bocce.
Yeah, exactly. Or like,
Which would be
what-
weird. Why would you wouldn't do bocce in Sweden?
You don't reckon?
No.
Why not?
You'd
Why
eat,
can't Swedes play bocce?
you'd eat meatballs there. And
Oh, you reckon it's got to be specific
Flat-
to the
I
country?
don't
and you
think
flat
it
pack
does.
furniture. Is there anything else Sweden does? And then you'd have blonde hair.
Yeah. All the blondes are on one level.
Blondes only.
It's just they thought it would be kind of sweet. It's just come across really creepy and like kind of discriminatory. And
Yeah.
But the name Concordia was intended to express the wish for continuing harmony, unity, and peace between European nations.
Right. That's similar to why Concorde was picked as a name for the plane.
Really?
Yeah. Do you remember I said that?
Nope.
It's funny that they've done this as a way to bring all Europe together, but they've excluded a bunch of countries.
Yeah. Well,
Well,
how
not
many,
you though.
how many decks do you want them to have?
Well,
you know?
I just think they have to think that out.
Or
Either
just
have
like-
enough decks for all,
Yeah.
or nothing.
Exactly. No decks at all.
No
Yeah.
decks at all.
That's the
Enough
only-
decks for
Or-
all, or no decks at
Or
all.
deck one is like Holland,
I
Sweden,
rhymed
Belgium.
all and all there, which is pretty good.
Maybe you just go like multiple to each deck
Yes.
instead. So it's really confusing.
Yeah. Yeah, you just make up new combos. You Scandinavian deck.
Sure.
You have
But are they sick of being,
The Balkans
always
deck.
put together? Maybe they're like, fucking, I want to hang out with Spain.
all right. Who are you?
I'm Switzerland.
Okay. We'll have the Swiss Spain deck.
Ooh.
That does sound nice.
What combo are you going for, Dave?
I'm probably going to go for a bit of Bulgarian.
Ooh.
Mixed with maybe
Poland. Bulging pole.
Yeah, a bulging pole.
That's what I'd go for.
And,
Bulgy pole.
And the rule is bulging poles only.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to move on to dot point 3 then.
That's fun. It's a big ship.
Big ship. It's huge.
Celebrating Europe. Love it.
It has approximately 1,500 cabins, 500 of which had private balconies. Costa Concordia had one of the world's largest exercise facility areas at sea, so of ships. It was called the Samsara Spa. It was a 2-level, 6,000 square meter or 64,000 square feet fitness center with a gym, thalassotherapy pool, seawater, sauna, Turkish bath, and a solarium.
Wow, they see Turkey gets represented.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
Other amenities included 4 swimming pools,
Wow.
5 it said 5 jacuzzis and another number of spas, and that made me Google what's the difference between a spa and a jacuzzi, and there was no difference. Jacuzzi is just a brand, but there's spas as well. So maybe do they mean like day spa type places? I don't know.
Wow. How many spas?
Well, 5 jacuzzis and maybe like 3 spas. I don't know.
Right.
A poolside movie theatre, 5 restaurants, 13 bars, including a cigar and cognac bar and a coffee and chocolate bar.
Oh.
So it's not just like alcohol bars, even though the cigar one is. Anyway,
Did you say there was a swim-up cinema?
there's a poolside movie
But
theatre.
does that mean you watch the whole movie from within the water?
You can do, yep.
I don't know if I'd like that.
Or sitting, you can sit on like the banana lounges and
Okay,
stuff.
I forgot
you
that
used
you
to
could
have
sit
the-
next to a pool. Sorry. I was thinking that. I was like, I don't want to float here for an hour and a half.
Yeah,
I
good old
remember as a
pruny.
kid there was they'd call them dive-in cinemas, and the local pool would just have it, pull out a big screen and you'd float on a lilo and watch the
Usually
movie.
you sound like you're from the past, but now you sound like you're from the future. Really? They'd
Time is cyclical.
wheel out the...
Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty fun.
It's interesting you say he sounds like he's from the future, because some of the other amenities, there was a 3-level theatre, like a proper full-on theatre, a casino, and a futuristic disco.
Whoa.
I don't know what that means.
It just means the DJ is wearing foil. And they're playing like craft work. It's all blips and bloops.
Blip, 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 blip,
80s
blip.
future's the best future. The magical time they thought it would be. Everyone wearing alfoil.
There was an arcade, a basketball court, and a Grand Prix racing simulator. So this ship has everything.
It's also sunk before it's left the bay. It's so heavy with all this
But then,
crap.
you could be sitting in a theatre watching a show, like a proper theatre with like balcony seating above you and everything, and then you just have to remind yourself, I'm on a boat.
I'm on a boat. And what about like the Shakespearean actors that come in every night? They're
Yeah.
like, I can't believe I'm doing this.
I'm doing this on a boat.
on a
On
cruise ship.
international waters.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Say whatever you like. Change the bard's script.
in a casino, multiple
rules out there.
restaurants. It's wild. Yeah.
Was there any, I've got to ask, any water slides?
Probably
When
in the 4 pools, surely.
Because when I was in the Bahamas a few months ago, it's like a famous cruise ship port city, Nassau. And when we went into town, which was staying a bit further away, they're all lined up, all this cruise ship, because they stop there and the people come off, have a day there and then move on to another place in the Caribbean. And they're all lined up and they look like they were competing with each other to have a bigger water slide, like over the top. Some are going round. One of them had a roller coaster.
On a cruise.
Yeah. That seemed to wrap around the ship. Absolutely wild.
It's amazing.
No. Simply no.
So they are like, it feels like that they're pushing the boundary and like
Yeah.
basically taking the piss about what you can put on a ship.
Yeah, it's wild.
It's weird that cruise ships have done this and big aeroplanes haven't,
Yeah.
Oh, man, I'd love to go on a water slide on an aeroplane.
And water slide on an aeroplane, casino in an aeroplane, they make you just sit in these little seats.
Yeah.
Room it out a bit.
Yeah.
Let us wander around. Just like scale it up so the plane's,
Exactly.
10, 20 times bigger.
Yeah.
And we've all got room to move about, have a gamble, go in the pool.
Even if it means it takes a little bit longer,
Yeah.
at least I'm comfortable.
Yeah, that's
yeah,
fine.
that's right.
You
Even
know?
if you have to put the plane on the water and make it float.
Yeah, exactly.
Just do that
Just
then.
float it
Just go
along.
over, like one of those water planes.
Exactly.
You don't want a water plane, actually, do you?
Why not?
You can lose traction.
Nothing to grip.
Yeah, you're right. It's nothing to grip. What are the tires gripping? Anyway, so that's a little like an audio tour of the ship.
I'm imagining it and it's huge.
It's massive. The ship was captained by 52-year-old Italian shipmaster Francesco Scatino.
So they're in good hands.
They're in good hands.
Shipmaster.
He was born into a seafaring family in Campania and attended the nautical institution Nino Bixio before getting work at a ferry company. And in April of 2002, he was hired by Costa Concordia.
It's so good that you're doing an Italian report dressed as Luigi.
to get into character, or it felt, I don't know, my pronunciation would have been quite right.
Because you nailed that one there.
I don't know if I did. Italians are like, what the fuck is she saying?
Well,
And I'm
as
gonna
someone
keep
who
going.
is 1/16 Swiss Italian, I can say you are spot on.
Thank you so much. So he was hired by Costa, which is a subsidiary of Carnival Corporation.
Carnivale.
Carnivale. He started out as a security official before moving up to second in charge.
Okay, that's
It's an interesting leap, isn't it? Yeah.
I'm security official.
Just wait. In 2006, he was promoted to captain and given command of the newly launched Costa Concordia. In just 4 years, he's gone from security guard to captain.
I love that. Someone who's just pulling themselves up by their own bootstraps. Just, I remember when I worked at Safeway, a supermarket.
Yeah.
And the store manager, when I got the job, he said to me, I was working as a trolley boy. I was 14,
Yeah.
15. And he goes, I started out as a trolley boy as well. Now I run this whole store. So work hard. Anything's possible. And 4 years later, I was the captain of a ship.
We don't talk a lot about your ship days.
Talk about that, do we?
I wish we could. Actually, he's going to come in great handy here because
cool.
it's a lot about.
Well, I can give you some of my
based
knowledge.
on a ship.
Yeah. I love the high seas.
So has he done like training?
Well, like it says he went to the Nautical Institute. So, and he's come from like his family have been on ships and stuff.
so-
He obviously has some sort of qualifications.
Right. So really, the weird part was when he was the security guard.
Yeah.
Him going, I know about ships.
Yeah, I know how to captain a ship, but I don't know anything about
They're
the
like,
security cameras you got going.
You can captain a ship. You can keep people safe.
That's right. So anyway, who knows?
You can say not in those shoes. The kind of security I'm picturing. It's got a velvet rope,
Bouncer.
clipboard.
Sorry, you're not on the list.
Sorry, mate.
I said you're not on the list. What's your star sign? A couple of things worth mentioning at this point. Number one, at the vessel's launch on the 2nd of September 2005, the champagne bottle released by model Eva Herzegova failed to break when swung against the hull
that's
the
bad
first
luck.
time. This type of occurrence is considered a bad omen among seafarers.
Should they have scrapped the ship,
Possibly.
set fire, and started again?
I think so. Number two, in November of 2008, while Scatino was captain, high winds over the Sicilian city of Palermo pushed the ship against its dock, damaging the bow. There were no injuries and repairs were made soon after. And according to Scatino's employer in 2010, as master of the Costa Atlantica, he damaged another Carnival Corporation ship while entering a port in Germany at too high a speed.
Okay, so he doesn't know what he's doing.
He came into a port too
You
fast.
tell me, so he's parking by feel.
Oh, so interesting you say that. So he's got a bit of a track record, but I'm sure that won't come
I
up
just
again.
picture he's like used to just driving a Lamborghini, speeding up to the curb,
Yep.
Sideways, spinning,
Yeah.
making an entrance.
He's used to a jet ski where you have to keep accelerating as you turn.
You know
Something
what?
I always think about.
What I was thinking. Now this boat keeps getting damaged. What they should have done is made the whole ship out of whatever they made that champagne bottle out of.
Yeah.
Unbreakable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Make an
Use
entire
your
ship
head.
Yeah,
out
guys.
of glass.
Yeah.
The strongest material known to humanity.
Yeah. I don't see anything wrong with that.
So-
And then you'd be able to see everything.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, glass bottom boat for real.
Yeah,
Yeah.
glass side boat, glass
Yep.
top boat.
Glass wall boat.
Yeah.
So I hope you know your neighbours because you will intimately.
And if the glass bottom boat fits.
Yeah.
saying.
Inside another bottle. It's a ship in a bottle. A glass ship in a glass bottle. Match made in heaven.
That's sick. So that's a bit of background on the ship itself and its captain. But the main event of the report happened 6 years after the ship was launched. So on January 13, 2012, Costa Concordia departed. You know,
Come
you were
on,
saying
Luigi.
Civitavecchia
Ooh.
That sounded beautiful.
in Italy, and it took off on its first leg of a cruise around the Mediterranean Sea. This was a standard route for this ship, made stops in Italy, France, and Spain. It was about 7:20 p.m. when the ship departed, with 1,023 crew members and 3,206 passengers.
Wow,
So about 4,200 people in total.
So many people on board. My God.
Isn't that crazy? It's so big. And it's multi-level and everything, but like, it's so many people just on this big, giant floating thing. It's crazy.
I really don't know how I feel about cruise ships.
Yeah.
That's like you see pictures and stuff, and it looks great. It looks like paradise, but it's so many people trapped on a thing.
Yeah. It's trapped on a somewhat dangerous thing.
So I'm just not sure.
I also get seasick. So I don't think it's for me.
But the thing is, Matt, I think after this report, you'll want to go on a cruise ship even more.
Yeah.
Yeah, great. I mean, I'd definitely be up for it. I just never have before.
Yeah.
Yep.
We really needed to get previous guest Kirsty Wiebeck on, who she works on the high seas.
Yes. She loves a cruise. I don't know if she loves it, but she's definitely been on them.
Have you done a cruise
I think
ship?
she loves
No.
them.
I've done a smaller one down the Yangtze River in China.
That's
where
right.
Maybe it had 100 guests, I would say.
Oh, okay.
Maybe 150.
Yeah.
And there's like, one dining room that you
It
go
feels
to
like
every
if
night.
if it's on a river, it feels like it's going to be smaller.
Yeah. And the thing is, you can see the sides at all times.
Yeah, wow.
So, if shit goes down, in theory, I just got to swim over there.
Mm.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah, whereas in the middle of
The ocean, you can't see the sides.
that does feel a little can't see the sides.
See the sides of the ocean.
I can't see either side of the ocean right now. It's crazy. Anyway, so according to Britannica.com, as the Concordia approached Giglio Island several hours later,
Gigolo Island.
Giglio,
Oh, sorry.
Oh my gosh, we're in for a good time here.
that's in English, it deviated from its standard course, moving closer to the small Tuscan island for a maritime salute, a common practice that included the cruise ship sounding its horn. The Concordia had performed several in the past. So they're doing a little sail-by at the island.
That sounds so annoying for residents.
Yeah, it is.
I'd be like, please, I know this is out of respect, but shut the fuck up.
And it's more of like an entertaining thing for the guests for the passengers.
Right.
It's not for the island.
The island
The island are like, it's 7 o'clock. Shut up.
piss off.
It's by this time it's like 9 p.m. They're like, fuck off.
This happens every night with different cruise ships.
Go away. So we're only a couple of hours into the journey, and this is where things start to go wrong.
Oh.
Britannica continues. The area was known for rock outcroppings, and at some point, such a formation was noticed in the ship's path. Scatino, a captain of more than 7 years, ordered a change in course, but due to a language issue, the Indonesian helmsman steered the boat in the opposite direction.
Oh, that's a big language problem.
Quick tidbit here, the helmsman, Jacob Russley Bin, was new to the job. He'd been hired very cheap.
Russell Bin. What a name. Russell Bin. Guys, could you keep it down over there? We're trying to record a podcast and that bin is too rustly.
That's a rustly
That is
bin.
a rustly bin. I think the fan is catching it a bit and the plastic is just sort of crinkling.
Is it just filled with chip packets? What is in that bin?
It is, mate. That is quite a cacophony.
I believe that of the 1,000 noises you've got in your arsenal, Matt, Rustly Bin might be one. Is that
Yeah,
correct?
Rustly Bin is one, yeah.
What number was that?
Oh, I think that was like number 7 or something.
Oh, wow, it's quite high up.
Early.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
you
was
went
one
through
of the first requests.
You went through the essentials.
Yeah. Did you want to hear it?
If you wouldn't mind.
I'd love to request it. Number 7.
So, lowish breeze. There's a fan's on setting 2.
Okay.
Right?
Okay,
And
yeah,
it's swiveling. So,
yeah.
So you will hear. I don't need to say this. You'll hear it,
Yeah.
but you'll hear that the fan is not hitting the rustly
Yes,
bin,
as
and,
it oscillates.
and then as it oscillates, it hits the rustly
Yeah,
bin
yeah.
and back in.
Beautiful.
Okay, so.
Great.
You have to admit that bin is quite rustly.
It's rustly. It is distracting.
And that's on the
And that's on a low
two. If
setting.
we
Yeah.
put the fan up to 5, just the
5?
last request, what would that
Okay.
sound like? A 5. Oh, would you turn that bloody fan off?
Oh, man.
Yeah. Turn it down at the very least.
That's a bloody rustly
Yeah,
bin.
it's very rustly bin. Every now and then I come to and I'm like, what are we doing? What are we doing?
You remember the context. This actually has context, would you believe it?
How do we get here?
It shouldn't have. It's silly.
So he's an Indonesian man.
Yes, he's just been hired. He's new. I'm sure he must have some nautical qualifications in order to get the job, but previous work experience included time as a painter and a cleaner.
Oh, okay.
Triple threat.
And he neither speaks English nor Italian.
Okay, is there a third language that they're supposed to use on the high seas?
On this Italian ship,
Pointing?
it's a bit of pointing. Most of the crew at least speak basic English. I'm sure he must have some,
Right, because I feel like
but he's not fluent.
Like
So
in,
that's
in aviation, like don't all pilots have to know English because
Yeah.
that's the international one that was picked. That they all can
Yes.
communicate. Surely there's something where they can communicate with this person who steers the ship.
That does feel like it should be important that there's clear communication there. Yes.
Oh, dear.
You know who would have been perfect in this scenario? Me in year 8.
Uh-huh.
I spoke English already.
Yes.
Well, as well as I do.
Yeah.
But in year 8, I was also learning Italian and Indonesian.
Oh, that would be
That would have
handy.
been the perfect.
You are the triple
It
threat.
would have been the perfect time for me to
Yeah.
get a gig on the Costa Concordia.
Do
Yeah.
you remember how to say left or right in either language?
No. But at the
Sinistra.
time, that's why I said in year 8, not now.
Jess is looking it up.
No, I'm pretty sure left in Italian is something like sinistra. It's like sinister. Left in Italian.
Cilantro.
Sinistra. Correct.
Sinistra.
Beautiful.
I don't remember what right is. I didn't
Correct.
Correcto.
You want me to turn this ship correcto?
Yes.
Yeah, turn it in the right direction. Correct.
So the captain has said, there's some rocks up ahead. Change course. The Indonesian helmsman has steered the boat in the wrong direction.
Toward rock?
Back to Britannica. It reportedly took 13 seconds to correct the maneuver. The boat's bow ultimately swung clear, but the stern collided with the reef at approximately 9:45 p.m. Confusion on the bridge resulted in conflicting orders, but the damage had been done. The Concordia's port, the left side, had suffered a 174-foot or 53-metre tear.
Wouldn't have happened to a glass boat.
No.
Nah.
Glass doesn't tear.
Tear? Challenge that.
Yeah.
I'd like to hear a reply. Doesn't tear.
Does glass tear?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Google it.
Yes or no?
Google it.
I
No,
don't
no,
think
no.
so.
Yes or no?
Yes or no? It's a yes or no question. We can move on after that, but yes or no right now.
No, I guess it doesn't.
Thank you. Wikipedia, which is like a website I found, wikipedia.org, sort of has like information about ships.
Oh, cool.
Oh,
I
right.
guess that's why I hadn't found it before because
I was going to guess that was Indonesian. I was going to ask Matt if he'd heard of it, but it's
Right.
about ships. Okay.
it's about ships.
That.
It says it was 115 feet or 35 meters, so there's a fair difference there, but I'm leaning towards believing Britannica
Okay.
Okay, right. But still,
over
so
Wikipedia. It's a big gash
it's,
right in the side.
How many meters was it again? 50 meters.
50
And
meters?
this thing's like nearly 300 meters long, so
Yeah.
it's a big section.
Yeah, that's a great.
50 metres, what is that? Yeah, it's probably like a half wedge.
Half a
Half a wedge
Half a wedge.
Yeah,
into
right.
the green.
Yeah, that's right. Thank you for putting it into
I
context.
did.
so
I
we can
played golf
understand.
once last year, so I think I know what I'm talking
Yeah.
about.
Yeah.
Did you use the wedge?
Yeah,
Sand or otherwise?
I think I avoided the sand that day.
Oh, well done.
I had quite a lot of shots as well.
Wow.
So
Really?
that makes it even more
You're
impressive.
really good.
Yeah, I'm really good.
That's
I
very
had heaps
impressive.
of shots.
Yeah, I had plenty of opportunity to hit it into the sand.
And I didn't.
I didn't.
Managed to dodge it every time. Pretty
In fact,
crazy.
I did 18 holes with a putter.
That's clear. I think I probably would have played better if I used that tactic, to be honest.
So, yeah, big old hole in the side of the ship. An important thing to note is that the gash is below the waterline.
Oh, great. You
Yeah,
can't
just
even
where you
see
want
it.
it. Just
That's great.
Yeah.
even see
You
it.
know, like when you like put a
Aesthetically speaking.
stain on the couch and you go, actually, this is where the pillow goes anyway.
Yeah.
No one will ever see
I'll
it.
flip
You
the
know
cushion.
that? You know when you do that?
You know what I'm talking
Yeah,
about?
it's a
Yeah.
universal
You know
thing.
when you shit on the couch?
Yeah, when
And
you
then
shit,
you're like,
shit in
oh,
the
that's
back corner of the couch and you realise, hang on.
And the other thing about it being below the like positive pressure will mean the air inside the boat will keep the water out, I suppose.
I would assume so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
The impact sheared 2 long strips of steel from the ship's hull. These were later found on the seabed 92 to 96 metres from the main island. 5 compartments, including the engine room, were flooding, and the ship soon lost power.
Oh, he's flooded the engine. Don't ride
no.
Don't ride the clutch, mate.
Come on, mate. Now you just got to...
Do you remember that ad? There used to be an ad. Don't ride the clutch. It was like a dad teaching his kid how to drive. Stop riding the clutch.
I don't remember that ad.
my real life version of that, and I'm sure I've told you before, was my dad going gutter. He's not used to being on the passenger side, so he was just like endlessly paranoid that I was riding the gutter. I was going to hit the gutter. Gutter. It was not a chilled out driving instructor. Gutter.
Don't ride the gutter.
Don't ride the gutter.
So, engine's gone. Is there only one engine room? So that's it for the engines?
I guess so.
Okay. And then the electricity, the power's gone.
Yes.
That's not good.
Because in addition, with neither the engines nor the rudder functioning, the ship couldn't be steered. So they're just kind of stuck. They've lost all power. They can't steer it.
And can I just ask, so they've gone along the rock. They're not stuck on it. They're just now floating with a big hole in the side.
Yeah, kind of.
Filling up with water, I
Yeah.
assume. Oh, dear.
Scatino, this is from Wikipedia. Scatino said that before approaching the island, he turned off the alarm system for Costa Concordia's computer navigation system. He said, I was navigating by sight because I knew those seabeds well.
Clearly.
I'd done the move 3-4 times.
Oh, okay, great. He's
So
an
he
expert.
knows them well, like the back of his hand. He doesn't need the computer navigation system.
And
he can do this by eye at night.
the thing that would flash up and say there's a rock there.
Yep.
No, don't hit that bit.
Correct. So he turned that off because he's like, I've got this. He told investigators that he saw waves breaking on the reef and turned abruptly, swinging the side of the hull into the reef. Admitting to a judgment error, Scatino acknowledged ordering the ship's turn too late. The captain initially said the ship was about 300 meters from the shore, which is only it's the length of the vessel. They're really close. And it hit an uncharted rock. The ship's first officer, Ciro Ambrosio, told investigators Scatino had left his reading glasses in his cabin and repeatedly asked Ambrosio to check the radar for him. So he's turned off the system. He doesn't have his glasses on. He's doing it by sight.
Right.
Good.
He's not asking someone to go get the glasses?
Nah, he's just like, what's the radar say? Yeah, no, we're fine. So, a couple of things here. Yes, the sail pass salute had been approved by Costa Cruises managers in 2011 for a daytime sail to coincide with a festival that was happening on the island. So, because he was sort of like, they said I could do it. It's like, well,
Like on a specific
they'd
cruise.
approved it for a different time, but you weren't really supposed to. It wasn't planned. He said they had given him or they'd told him to do it on this particular cruise, but I don't know if that's true.
I just thought it was an open invitation. You know,
Yeah.
whenever.
Whenever.
If you're ever
You know?
about, you can do it whenever. It's all good.
Just do a cruise by. Anyway, on deck, most passengers were in the dining room and the dining hall at the time of the impact. They heard a sudden loud bang, which a crew member said over the intercom was due to electrical failure. So they come over the loudspeaker, they're like, don't worry, it's fine.
Wow,
Just
they're
an
like,
electrical failure.
quick lie.
Electrical failure doesn't make me feel super confident.
No, that doesn't sound good.
No.
What's the word? Like, so most are in the dining room. That's not a good place to be. You know, you're putting a fork up to your mouth. Not ideal. But what's the worst place on a boat?
Toilet,
Toilet, water slide.
water slide.
Or would that make the water slide better? That'd be more exciting.
Yeah.
right?
Maybe.
What if you're like setting a mousetrap or something?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And like
Shaving.
Shaving.
Yeah.
That'd be bad.
shaving
Your neck.
balls.
Oh, your balls.
Shaving your balls.
Well-
Why didn't you do that before the cruise?
I
Well-
didn't think I was going to pick up, and I have. I'll be in a minute. Just give me a second.
Honestly, I did. It's just very fast growing hair.
Within a couple of hours of leaving, already got her back to my room. Just one second.
Dog.
Wait a second. Oh, God.
Oh, God.
Oh, there's so much blood.
Oh, don't worry, I've still got one left.
That's a big gash. I've lopped one off.
I'm not giving up this opportunity.
Passengers were assured that there was nothing to worry about and that everything was under control. But pretty soon, the ship lost cabin electrical power shortly after the initial impact. A passenger later said the ship started shaking, the noise, there was panic, like in a film, dishes crashing to the floor, people running, falling down the stairs. It was quite quickly, people were like, fuck.
Yeah.
So they've hit rocks. There's a massive gash in the side of the ship. The engine room is flooded and the ship has no power.
But they're quite close to shore, is that right?
Yeah, they are.
Okay.
Without propulsive power and no emergency electrical power, it was just floating a little bit. It sort of moved through inertia and the settings of her rudder, it just sort of continued to kind of float a little bit. Just after 10 p.m., Costa Concordia, the ship turned south slightly and the vessel was then listing to starboard. Now, listing is the nautical term when a ship takes on water and tilts to one side. So
Right.
when it's listing, it's sort of kind of tilting over.
Getting ready to go to the shops.
So it's listing.
So it's tilting
It's-
on the side that hasn't been hit. Is that right? So hit on the port.
How does that make sense?
I don't know. Maybe like the water comes in on the left side and then it starts filling up. I don't know.
Yeah, I
So it's
don't know.
now tilting away from the rock that it would hit.
Yeah, that makes sense to me because it'd be coming in from.
Yeah.
And then if it's tilting, because if it was tilting the other way, the water would be going out again.
Yeah.
I'm not a scientist.
Anyway.
But I do think if they flooded the engine, like I did that with my lawnmower once.
Yeah.
And I think it was because I started on a cold day or something.
Oh.
And I think, so mate, do you think, and then I didn't let it to run or something.
I think a lawnmower
I'm
and
a bit of a
ship
motorhead.
is
I should
similar.
say that.
Yeah.
I'm a bit of a gearhead, bit of a machine head.
Yeah.
There are a few bands that I know the names of, but the So I just wonder if maybe they started the ship on cold and that's flooded the engine.
That's probably it.
And the reef was just an unfortunate coincidence.
Yeah, and they blamed it. They blamed it on the rocks.
They're like, oh, it's electrical failure. Oh,
Yeah.
it's a reef.
But really, they just didn't warm up the engine.
Yeah. They were embarrassed.
It's not a flooded engine. We just have a giant hole in the side of the ship.
Yeah.
Great cover story. Great cover story.
How
Mate.
fast can they go? Do they go fast?
Cruise ships?
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty quick.
You know, they go nautical quick. I like how things are nautical miles.
Yeah, it's
knots.
fun.
How many knots does this thing do?
And it means nothing to
You're
me.
getting on, banging on the side.
Yeah.
I love being that guy.
What's under the hood?
Yeah,
Especially because I don't know what any of the answers mean.
Nah.
One on the plane one time. What Dave? Was it with you, Dave? I knocked on the plane. I said, "What do they make this out of? Steel? Some sort of steel?" And the guy didn't. I don't think he was down with my humour there.
I think he's sick of it.
What do you make this?
What's this?
This looks pretty solid.
Anyway, so it's listing now, initially by about 20 degrees, and it sort of came to rest, kind of settled at like 10:45 p.m. So it's tilting on its right side. It's taking on water. From history.com, the safety of his passengers and crew wasn't Scatino's number one priority as he assessed the damage to the Concordia. The impact and water leakage caused an electrical blackout on the ship, and a recorded phone call with Costa Concordia's crisis coordinator, Roberto Ferrarani, showed he tried to downplay and cover up his actions by saying the blackout was what actually caused the accident.
Oh,
He's like, nah, it's a blackout, and then we hit a rock because of the blackout.
Oh, that's good. I was going to say you can't blag your way out of a huge gash down the side,
thought-
but he's blaming the crash on the blackout.
Yeah.
I thought that maybe he was going to say it was like that when I got on. This hole's been here for ages.
What are you talking about?
Your last captain
I think
sees
that's
it
my hole.
crazy.
Come on.
Come on.
It's sort of like when you pick up a hire car and you have to check it for scratches
And you
and
take
stuff.
photos of it.
Yeah.
See this, Nikki? I want you to write that on the incident report.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm cool. I'm being generous calling it a nick. That's a gash, mate.
That's a gash right there, mate. I'll still take it.
Now, Jess, you did say it wasn't his first priority. How far down the list was it?
Pretty far down, I think. Yeah.
And Dave, you could probably tell from now what was his first priority.
Probably having a smoke.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, probably.
Smoker, mate, it's
Smoker.
smoker.
Okay, come on. Sorry. It's not my fault. If I miss it now, I won't have one for ages.
Yeah.
And this is part of what's recorded on that phone conversation. He says, I have made a mess and practically the whole ship is flooding.
Oh my
Scatino
God.
told
He's pissed himself.
Ferrarini.
Is there a chance you could...
I've made a mess. The whole place is flooding. Mate, how much?
I've clogged the toilet.
Oh, is it possible you could helicopter in some fresh pans? Honestly.
I'm in strife here. These pants are unwearable.
Help me out. Come on.
Come on.
I've worked with the company for ages. Please.
No one respects a captain with soggy pants. They're not looking me in the eye. Everyone's looking at my crotch.
They're like, can you smell piss?
Nah.
No, of course not.
No, that smell was here when I got here.
Oh my God. He goes on to say, what should I say to the media? To the port authorities, I have said that we have had a blackout.
What should I say to the media?
Yeah.
He's going to do a press conference?
He's just,
Dude,
In those pants?
there's a whole...
it's like he knows he's fucked up and he's just sort of like,
Yeah.
oh, I've got to get myself out of this. So Scatino didn't immediately alert the Italian Search and Rescue Authority about the accident. The impact on the rocks occurred about 9:45 p.m. local time. And the first person to contact rescue officials about the ship was someone on the shore, according to
Oh
the
my
investigative
God.
report. One source I read said a woman on board called her mother, who wasn't on the ship, who then called like the authorities.
What, the
captain didn't.
But hasn't the captain also... The Costa Concordia crisis manager...
Yeah.
Has he not told anyone?
Nah.
How many
And
crisis...
so he's not on the ship, he's on land, and he hasn't told anybody.
And he's probably been waiting for this phone call for 4 years. How many of their ships go down?
It's your time to shine,
Yeah,
mate.
come on, man.
Yeah,
You don't even call the police?
not saying anything.
Call the ambulances?
That is, yeah. I don't think they've handled this very well.
Well, they get worse. So Search and Rescue contacted the ship a few minutes after 10 p.m, but Scatino didn't tell them what had happened for about 20 more minutes. And even when he did finally tell them that, yes, the ship is taking on water, all he requested were tugboats.
Oh, you love tugboats.
I fucking love tugboats. They're
Yeah.
so little and powerful.
Yeah.
They're so cute. He's like, I don't need rescue boats or any nearby ships or Coast Guard or the Navy or anything. Just give us a tow back out and we'll be on our way.
Yeah, just send us out.
I just need a couple of hockey straps. I'll be able to sort this one out.
Yeah, we just need
Thank
a jump start.
Thanks, David.
Once you get us going, we'll be fine.
We'll be all right.
I'll handle it from
We'll
here.
be all right.
20 minutes you waited. Don't tell me there's another smoko. Jeez, the timing of this has been unlucky, hasn't it?
Look, this is going to be a big day after this. I'll miss the next smoko, so I'll just have 2 now,
Yeah.
and then I'll get into gear.
Yeah. But I'm really going to take my time. So about half an hour after the impact, passengers had gathered at muster points in their life jackets, as they'd been instructed to do by crew.
Okay, I'm glad that that's happened.
Well, there's video of a crew member telling passengers, "We've solved the problems and we invite everyone to return to their cabins," which is not the case.
Has anyone? That information is not correct in any way.
No, not in any way.
Does the person saying it believe it?
Who knows? Unsure about that one. History.com again says a little more than an hour after impact, the crew began to evacuate the ship. But the report noted that some passengers testified that they didn't hear the alarm to proceed to the lifeboats. Evacuation was made even more chaotic by the ship listing so far to starboard, making walking inside very difficult and lowering lifeboats on one side near impossible. Because the ship is hanging on its side, so you can't lower the lifeboats from that side.
Right, and imagine that it's probably 50-50.
So
on the
it's still listing?
Yeah.
So they're going, everything's fine, we've fixed the problem, and they're all on a diagonal.
Yes.
Like their rooms, everything's falling out of their cupboards.
Yeah.
That's
And they're
funny.
like, everything's fine, head back to your room. I think the show's starting in 15 minutes.
Yeah, we've got Macbeth starting in 15.
You got time to grab a drink, go to the toilet before the show?
We're doing it a bit differently tonight. We're calling it Drunken Macbeth. So if you see him sort of wobbling around on stage,
That's
they're
why.
just having a bit of fun.
Just a bit of fun.
up there.
Anyway, so yeah, they can't move around. Making things worse, the crew had dropped the anchor incorrectly, causing the ship to flop over even more dramatically.
Oh,
Hey, if you're not dropping an anchor correctly, I think, we're in strife here.
Yeah.
That feels like they'd teach you that day one.
surely.
Day one. That's
Day one anchor.
day one ship school. Drop anchor.
Drop anchor. From Wiki. Some passengers jumped into the water to swim to shore, while others, ready to evacuate the vessels, were delayed by crew members up to 45 minutes as they resisted immediately lowering the lifeboats.
Isn't that amazing that they're going, I don't trust them. I'm just going to...
It's 300 meters
I'm
to
just gonna swim
land. They're
for
just
it.
like, I'll swim for it.
It'd be the same as walking from one end of the boat to the other.
Yeah.
That easy. Why don't they just swing the boat around and then they can walk?
You use it like a bridge.
Yeah.
Makes way more sense.
But I imagine that option isn't up for, some people will be elderly, some people
Of
are there with
course.
children. Like everyone just can't
Some
swim
of them
for
would
it.
have forgotten their goggles.
I went for a
I don't
swim
have my
yesterday.
togs with me.
I went for a swim yesterday and struggled at 50 meters.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, oh my God, swimming's so hard.
Isn't it fun? I did last summer. I went to a local pool, 25 meters, and it was a battle to get to the other end. I'm like, oh no.
Oh,
Yeah.
dear.
I'm unfit.
And
Yeah.
that's control conditions. And I
Yes.
imagine the lights were on, or you're outside, but this is in the
Yes,
dark,
that's right.
Yes, this is nighttime.
So that's scary.
Their lights went on, but yeah, the sun was up.
Yeah. The sun was on.
The sun was on.
Was the sun on?
What about the sunroof?
I wrote one time when I was in, visited my cousin in Monte Carlo. It was the week that Steve Irwin died.
Right.
And I caught a train down to see him. He was working there or something. And we went to this fake beach they have there. And there was a little buoy that people would swim out to.
A buoy.
A buoy, sorry.
Very
sorry,
nice.
Otherwise, they're
Americans.
thinking, what is it, some sort of like a paddling little child out
But
there?
it was basically just like a floating crate on the water. And people would swim out there, sit on there, have a little wobble and then
Do a
swim
couple
back.
of bombs off of it, yeah.
And I got halfway out and I'm like, I'm battling.
Yeah.
But there's still so far to go.
Oh, no.
But there's probably just as far or more to get back. I'm like, what do I do? I kept going and I got out to the buoy and just lay on it, gasping for air.
Yeah.
Remembering that my cousin, who I was just going for a quick swim with, is a triathlete.
Sure.
And I'm like, why did I think he said it was an easy swim? That's not a normal person easy swim.
No.
And I'm probably not even as good as a normal person at swimming.
Yeah.
But then so I'm like there gasping and I've got to make the whole swim back again. I died that day. So there's a bit of a twist, but I've been a ghost this whole time.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because that was in 2006.
That explains
And
why
if
you're
you
so
were-
white.
Yeah.
If you were to estimate how far that was in meters from the shore, do you reckon it was 300?
I think it was 20 meters. No. No, it wouldn't have been 300, but it would have only been 100,
Yeah.
probably. So 300. I mean,
No, I'm not making it.
Mate, there's got to be some, like, because I did make it back, even though I felt like I wanted, like, I wouldn't have in a normal pool, probably. There must be something that kicks in a little bit that...
If you're swimming for your life...
Yeah, maybe. Adrenaline.
There's a little extra, but it can't make you do something that's humanly impossible for you.
Some sources report that the ship didn't tilt until like after 11, and therefore if Scatino had given the order to abandon ship, the lifeboats could have been launched earlier, allowing the passengers to reach safety in a more safe way. Okay. So if he'd just done the bare minimum early,
not self-preservation mode.
Yeah,
he needed to go into everyone preservation mode.
Yeah, but in the meantime, he's like being like, "What do I say to the media? Where's the hair and makeup team?
Yeah, exactly.
It's going to look bad for me.
Does this tie go with this shirt?"
Mate, just hit the button that lowers the lifeboats. Come on.
And by the way, I need some pants, please. Please.
Can the hair and makeup people please bring me some pants?
I'm still pissing. It won't stop. I don't know how it's happening. I haven't had that much liquid.
I'm honestly scared.
What is this now? It can't just be...
It's basically dust now.
Are my organs melting and coming out my bladder?
Yes.
So
yeah, he could yes.
I've just been assuming because they're so close to shore that there's no fatalities. But I'll keep assuming that until you tell me otherwise.
So, yeah, that was some sources saying that if he'd just given the order, they would have been able to lower the lifeboats. Other experts stated that a delay might be justified considering the hazards in launching lifeboats while a ship is moving. So,
okay.
The staff or second captain, the staff captain, Roberto Bossio, is said to have coordinated some of the deck officials in much of the evacuation. He began to evacuate the ship before Scatino's order. Many junior officers and crew members who were aware of the severity of the situation also began readying lifeboats and moving passengers from their cabins before the abandoned ship order was given, a move that has been characterized as a mutiny.
They went, this is dangerous. These people have to get off.
We have to start evacuating. And they've done that before the captain said so. So that is considered a mutiny.
So like you'd call that a good mutiny?
Yeah.
They need a different word, I reckon.
I know.
Are they being criticised for that?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Surely they couldn't. They've done the right thing in starting to look after people's safety and do their jobs.
Yeah.
But they're all in jail now.
They're all in jail. Yeah. And they deserve to be because of mutiny.
Mutiny.
They're in the sea jail. Under the ocean?
Yeah.
Submarine jail.
They're not swimming with the fishes. Concrete shoes sort of stuff.
No. They're just underwater.
Underwater.
They're an underwater prison.
They're in a permanent underwater prison. Submarine.
Submarine. Don't be stupid.
A permanent submarine.
Nothing weird.
Okay.
Nothing weird.
Just a bit of fun.
At 10:39, the first rescue vessel arrived. Approximately 15 minutes later, Scatino finally ordered the Concordia abandoned. So he's finally made the abandoned ship call.
It was just nearly 2 hours after hitting a rock.
It's an hour later, hour and a bit later. Though, as I just said, crew were already taking action to evacuate passengers.
He's looked around and gone, abandoned ship, and he's the only one on it.
Yeah.
Oh, crap.
Fuck.
I've left this a bit late.
I mentioned that some passengers jumped into the water to swim ashore. 3 people did sadly drown after jumping into the water, and another 7 were seriously injured. Italian Coast Guard, Navy and Air Force took turns airlifting passengers out, and the local fire chief said his men plucked 100 people from the water and saved around 60 others who were trapped in the boat.
Oh my God.
So there's a lot of people from several different organisations who are doing their best to get people out of the ship safely. Someone who wasn't doing that was the ship's captain.
Oh.
Okay.
According to investigators, Scatino had left the ship by 11:30 p.m.
Private jet.
He didn't even stick around for 2 hours.
Well, the captain always goes down with the ship. So he was probably just popping off to buy some more cigarettes for the next smoker. Who I'm sure he'll be back to go down with the ship.
Well, it's funny. It's so crazy and not at all his fault because what happened was he fell into a lifeboat.
No.
And once you're in, there's no possible way to get out of a lifeboat. He slipped.
Those lifeboats, those inflatable ones, are you kidding? It's like being on a jumping castle.
Yeah.
It's a nightmare.
Yeah,
try and get out of them.
He was just like rushing to save everyone, and somebody had left like a banana peel or something, and he slipped and he fell into the lifeboat, and that's not his fault.
Was this guy basing his life on Billy Zane from Titanic?
Incredible stuff, yeah.
That is completely understandable, though. If you fall into a boat,
Yeah.
You have to go with the boat.
Yeah.
That's now
the boat's chosen you.
Yeah, and you're the captain of that boat now.
Yeah.
And if you were to leave that boat, that would be a crime.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm captain of this ship
Yeah,
now.
the captain doesn't leave your ship.
I go to shore with this ship.
Yeah, exactly. And
Genuinely, though, people tried to get him to go back to the ship and he refused.
when he was in the lifeboat,
Yep.
they were like, dude, you got to go back up there. And he's like, la, 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 la,
Can
la.
I hear you? In one, there was several phone calls. In one telephone call from the Coast Guard to Scatino, Captain Gregorio De Falco repeatedly ordered Scatino to return to the ship from his lifeboat and take charge of the ongoing passenger evacuation. At one point in the call, De Falco grew so angry at Scatino's stalling that he raised his voice and told Scatino, "Vado a bordo, cazzo!" which literally most likely is "get back on board, you prick." But depending on the source, some people have translated it as "get the fuck back on board," "get back on board for fuck's sake," or "get on board, damn it." Cazzo is a word that is all-encompassing, can be used for so many different things.
It's a bit of a word.
It's a lovely
beautiful.
word.
Beautiful name for a boy or girl.
So funny.
little cazzo.
Ah, baby cazzo. Despite this talking to, Scatino never returned to the ship from the lifeboat he fell into.
Did he literally say he fell into it?
Yeah, that was part of his thing. He's like,
Okay.
I fell.
I thought you were taking a bit of
No,
comic
he
license
said
there.
he fell into it.
Oh my god.
Incredible.
What is
I'll
this
show you a
guy
picture of this guy
like?
later and you'll be like, it all makes sense.
Okay.
He just looks like an absolute skis.
Okay.
It's incredible. Anyway, so it took several hours to evacuate the ship. At 1:04, an Air Force officer who was lowered on board by helicopter reported that there were still 100 people on board. There were 4,000 or something. So they've got a lot of people off.
Mostly in lifeboats.
I think so. And while the ship's captain refused to go, but they're also airlifting people out. So I think it's lifeboats and then other smaller boats and airlifting. It's a whole thing. And while the ship's captain refused to go back to it, the deputy mayor of the island went on board to help with rescue operations.
Wow, that's brave.
At 3:44 a.m., the Air Force officers reported that 40 to 50 people were still on board. And at 4:46, the evacuation was noted as complete. But the drama wasn't over because not everyone was accounted for. So the next day, the 14th, the survivors were transported to Porto Santo Stefano in Tuscany, while the Italian Navy, Coast Guard, and Fire and Rescue Services searched within the ship for missing people. Pitch black conditions with large furniture drifting around made the rescue operation hazardous. Divers would find a path into the ship and tie down obstacles such as mattresses before making noise to alert trapped people. It sounds like it would just be a really tedious and laborious task. Like, the search dives were planned as 50 minutes in duration and they had extra air tanks positioned within the ship in case of emergency. The divers had 2 headlamps positioned on their helmets because underwater visibility varied from approximately 80 to 10 centimetres. So
10 centimetres.
at its widest, you could see 30 centimetres in front of you.
Okay, well that's a pretty short
30
putt.
inches or 4 inches. You could see maybe 10 centimetres in front of you or 80.
Yeah, that's not far.
That's not
You
far.
should be dropping a putt from that length.
So that first day, they searched all day and into the night. And from Wikipedia, divers and firefighters continued to search for survivors who might have been trapped in the ship and rescued a South Korean newlywed couple who slept through the partial sinking,
No way.
only to awake and find they could not open their cabin's door.
Wow.
They slept through a shipwreck.
That's a deep sleeper.
Oh,
Very
wow.
jealous
Was
of
it?
that.
Was it their wedding night? Were they a little tired?
Well, they're like,
That's
oh, no,
incredible.
sorry, we were sleeping. We just thought the room was a rockin'. And we thought we did that. Everyone got that?
Everyone, oh,
Oh.
I didn't rock her world. She said I did.
I'm so happy that they got out though. But
I know.
So and so presumably they can't open the door because of debris and water and things like that.
I think so,
in front
yeah.
of their door. Oh,
They
wow.
also found one of the ship's crew, the purser, who had a broken leg and wasn't able to get themselves out, so they saved them. So these 3 were, sadly, the last remaining survivors. Over the next couple of weeks, rescue efforts continued despite challenging weather conditions and the ship shifting position, although now the efforts were less about rescue and more about recovery. In total, 32 people died in the disaster, and the last body wasn't recovered until November 2014, a couple of years later.
Wow.
So 32 people died.
Man, like, he's like, their blood's on his hands, right?
Yeah.
But it's not just him. Who gave him that job? He was clearly so
Yeah.
underqualified for. And who gave a job to a guy who couldn't communicate?
Yeah.
Like, there's obviously people higher up who have been negligent as well.
Yeah. And I did read that, like, the crew all had at least some basic English. They might not have been fluent, but I'm talking, like, everybody who worked on the ship. So that's including, like, cleaners, cooks, everything. It's less important that they can speak English perfectly in an emergency. Do you know what I mean? Like, of the people steering the ship, you should be able to understand each other really clearly because it's very important for everyone's safety. I know, it's pretty full on. But a disaster like this doesn't just magically fix itself, and Britannica does a pretty good job of summarising the aftermath. So it says, with Giglio Island lying in a protected marine area, environmental issues relating to the Concordia wreck were of particular concern. The vessel was on the edge of an underwater cliff, leading to worries that the ship might slip and break apart, causing an oil spill. To lessen any potential damage, oil booms were placed around the wreckage, and in Feb of 2012, salvage workers began removing more than 2,000 tonnes of fuel. The undertaking was completed the following month. So that's like pretty quickly after, within a couple of weeks, they're out there trying to like get rid of all that and make it as environmentally safe as possible.
Yeah.
During this time, work also began to remove the vessel in what was the largest maritime salvage operation in history. It was not until September of 2013 that the 114,000-ton Concordia was finally righted. The 19-hour process involved specially built underwater platforms, cranes, and some 500 people. In July of 2014, the Concordia, outfitted with a number of steel containers serving as flotation devices, was towed to Genoa in Italy, where it was dismantled for scrap. So it sat there for ages. And I've seen video from like a news story where people are just like at the beach and the ship is right there. Like people are just like using the beach as normal, having a nice time.
Yeah, wow. And
the
it's just
ship's
sitting there.
right there. It's 300 meters away. You can see it so clearly. And there was also like people would turn up to take pictures of it. There were little like boat tours you could go on and get up close to it. It just felt, and this was soon after. So it felt really icky. Very strange. Humans, huh? So that was a slowish process, but still surprisingly quick. But something that happened much quicker was an investigation into what happened, particularly whose actions were to blame for the disaster and the loss of lives. Francesco Schettino, who had worked for Costa Cruises for 11 years, and First Officer Ciro Ambrosio were arrested. The captain was detained on suspicion of manslaughter and for violations of the Italian Penal Code and Code of Navigation on 3 specifications of his having caused the shipwreck owing to imprudence, negligence, and incompetence, resulting in deaths, having abandoned about 300 people unable to fend for themselves, and not having been the last to leave the shipwreck.
So that is a crime. The captain is legally obligated to be the last.
Be the last, yeah. Or I don't know if it's like... Or maybe I was reading a US thing where it's not technically a law, but they can get in trouble for it. So it's sort of like, I think it is probably a rule then.
It makes sense.
I guess
to me.
so.
That's that's one of the things you agree to do when you're...
And you're in charge in an emergency and he didn't do anything.
Yeah, who are you leaving behind?
Yeah.
You're in charge now, boy.
Yeah.
But obviously...
What do you mean in charge of what?
But if you fall into the lifeboat, that's not your fault, though.
Sorry,
That's not his fault.
Yes.
Yeah,
They've got
come
to take
on.
that in consideration.
Yeah.
So you have to, unless one of these things happened, falling into a boat.
Yeah.
Can't
be bothered.
Can't be bothered to go on.
Yeah.
What about you're on Smoko?
On Smoko.
Yeah,
When
Smoko.
it happens.
Have a bit of a headache.
Ooh, yeah.
I'd be getting out of
just
stuff
not
all the time.
feeling it.
Yeah, just not
Yeah.
feeling it. But then you at least have to say, guys, I'm not feeling it.
Yeah,
Can
just
anybody else do it?
get everyone else to
I'll
look.
get the next one.
Yeah.
Yeah, give a bit of notice, like
And
a
you
few
just
minutes.
pass the hat over.
Yeah.
You're the captain
He didn't
now.
even do that.
Yeah, well, that's the issue, I think.
Yeah,
I agree.
if
Oh, no,
you-
but he did fall into the boat.
He fell into the boat.
Yep,
So he's obviously exempt. On February 23rd, 2 additional charges of abandoning incapacitated passengers and failing to inform maritime authorities were levied against Schettino. So they're throwing a few things at him, and rightly so. In a little bit of a wild twist, I guess, in Feb, the Associated Press reported that traces of cocaine had been found on Schettino's hair samples, but not within the hair strands or in his urine,
Oh my
which would have
God.
indicated he was using the drug. So I did see that he was tested for drugs and there was nothing in his system, but some people thought that was bullshit, They thought that had been falsified.
How embarrassing. He doesn't even know how to use cocaine.
Yeah, I know. He's
Rubbing
Rubbing
it on
his hair. He thinks it's
thinks
dry shampoo.
It's a dandruff solution
no.
or something. If anything, that's going to make your dandruff look worse.
Yeah.
A 2015 report indicated that the ship had been carrying a large amount of mafia-owned cocaine when it sank, although senior officers were likely not aware it was on board. So there was also a shit ton of mafia coke on there.
Oh, they're not going to be happy with him either.
No, he's in. Yeah, he probably wants prison. Actually,
Yeah.
at least you're safe in there. Isn't that fucking wild?
Wow. Was that recovered?
I don't know.
Oh, the fish just started zipping around real quick.
Yeah, the fish tasted amazing for a while. So on July 20th, 2013, 5 people were found guilty of manslaughter, negligence, and wrecking. Robert Ferrarani, the company's crisis director, received the longest sentence at 2 years and 10 months. Ferrarani, who was not on the ship, was convicted of understating the extent of the disaster and delaying an adequate response. Next was Manrico Giampederoni, who was the cabin service director. He was given 2.5 years for his role in the evacuation, which was described as chaotic.
Was he the one that was like, it's fine, go back to sleep?
Possibly, yeah. 3 crew members, First Officer Ciro Ambrosio, Helmsman Jacob Rusley Bin, and Third Officer Sylvia Koronika were given sentences between 1 and 2 years. But the helmsman, Bin, was he was convicted for steering the ship in the wrong direction after Scatino ordered a corrective maneuver. And Jacob Ruslan Bin actually fled. He failed to show up for court and was believed to have fled to Indonesia. But Interpol tracked him down a year later just outside Jakarta. So he fucked off back to Indonesia, but they did track him down.
Oh.
Pretty scandalous. In a separate trial for manslaughter and causing the loss of the ship, Captain Francesco Scatino sought a plea bargain
It
agreement.
really just sounds like he lost his mind. Like everything he did made no sense.
Yeah.
Maybe he didn't have, maybe that was just how he was anyway. But it just felt like, what are you doing?
Well,
None of this makes sense. What do you think? You can't just sort of like pretend this isn't happening and it'll go away.
Yeah. Well, this part might explain that. As part of this trial, Dominika Kamorten, who's a 26-year-old Moldovan, admitted having been Scatino's lover and having been a non-paying passenger on the ship, and after the prosecution alleged that her presence on the bridge generated confusion and distraction for the captain. So his girlfriend was on board.
I was trying to impress her.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. It's like when your girlfriend's around, you're
Yeah.
not concentrating on steering a ship. And then when you hit a rock, you don't even notice because your girlfriend's there.
Yeah, and she's so beautiful.
Yeah, there's a
and-
rock out here, but you're my rock in here.
Yeah.
Oh.
And here's a rock. Will you marry me?
Yeah. And here's a rock of cocaine from the mafia.
Yeah.
Too many rocks.
Yeah. That starts to
confusing.
get confusing.
That's so nice.
Yeah, it's a really
Yeah.
sweet moment, actually.
Oh, wow.
And I think this trial kind of ruins it a bit.
Yeah. Thanks for ruining the romance. God. So in Feb of 2015, Scatino was convicted and sentenced to 16 years in prison. He appealed against the sentence. That didn't happen. It was finalised in May of 2017. I think he appealed a couple of times.
Most of it was just, come on. I fell.
He's serving his sentence in a prison in Rome. But what's also pretty wild is that while still under investigation in 2014, and this was only 2 years after Costa Concordia sank, upon invitation by a university in Rome, he held a panic management seminar, which obviously had quite a few controversies after that. People were like, that guy is currently on trial for really not managing a crisis well at all.
What? And who was...
And being responsible for the deaths of 30
That
people.
sounds like the what not to do seminar.
Yeah. And a Rome university invited him to come out and do that.
That's a
Cashing
bad
in on
choice.
the...
Crazy.
Look, there's a bit of buzz around this guy at the moment in the media. I reckon this could get us some attention.
Yeah. And, speaking of cashing in, he also published a book in 2015 in which he characterised himself as a hero. The book was controversially dedicated to the victims of the catastrophe.
Oh, man.
Such poor taste. Many in the media criticised the book, especially how Scatino was attempting to profit from the disaster and paint himself in a better light.
Scatino. You said when we look at him, it'll make sense.
Yeah.
What's his first name?
Francesco. Scatino is SCHETTINO.
Honestly, what a great name, but what a shit bloke.
Agreed.
And yeah, okay. Yeah.
You see what I mean?
I think so.
He looks a bit gross to me.
He's just got a big head.
Big head.
Which I thought you'd relate to.
Hey. I've got a cute head.
Hey, big and cute aren't mutually exclusive.
That's right.
true.
Bigger is better.
I got a big cute head.
You got a big, cute head.
So, as I said at the very start, like we probably remember seeing this in the news because it wasn't that long ago. Coverage of this shipwreck dominated international media for weeks. The New York Times called the incident a drama that seemed to blend tragedy with elements of farce. Somebody else called it the most significant event in modern maritime history because every single safety procedure designed to make sea travel safe failed miserably. In Italy, newspapers stated that Italy owed the world an explanation for the wreck and called for harsh punishment of those responsible. And this part I loved, and I think you will as well. Italian commentators reflected on the contrast between Schettino and De Falco, the on-duty Italian Coast Guard, and what it said about the national character. They represented the two souls of Italy, according to Aldo Grasso, who said, on the one hand, a man hopelessly lost, a coward who shirks his responsibility as a man and an officer. The other grasps the seriousness of the situation immediately and tries to remind the first of his obligations. So you'll remember that De Falco was the one who yelled at Captain over the phone and said, "Vado a bordo cazzo."
Get back on, you coward prick.
Well, that phrase became a catchphrase in Italy after this event, and T-shirts with the phrase were printed and sold across the country. He became a bit of a hero, like a pop culture kind of hero.
Well, they get fashion over there.
That's so funny to me. That you could just get a T-shirt of a catchphrase that a man yelled at another man during a shipwreck.
Yeah.
It's baffling.
I think it's beautiful. A beautiful
nice.
tribute.
It is
and
lovely.
I hope they dedicated it to the victims.
Beautiful
I
stuff.
think that would have been really nice. He probably wouldn't have done that, I don't think.
Nah. He would have...
The other guy, I cannot believe he's written a book as the hero
Schettino, yeah.
and dedicated it to the victims.
Yeah, it's such poor taste
That's
and just
awful
so,
stuff.
like, complete lack of self-awareness. And
Yeah.
it's really yuck.
But it's funny that Italy only has those two souls.
Yeah.
You'd think there'd be a few souls somewhere between those two.
You would think so, but no, just those two.
It's a country of extremes.
No middle ground.
And, 1/16th of me is one of those souls.
Yeah.
I'll let you decide which.
Coward.
Put me on a ship going down. You'll see.
Coward.
Look, I fell.
Okay, finally, in January of 2013, so a year after it happened, the municipalities of the island, the Giglio Island, and the area in Tuscany where they shipped them to afterwards, they were decorated with the highest Italian civil award, the Gold Medal of Civil Merit, for the commitment of citizens, administrators, and local institutions in the rescue of the survivors. So the people on the islands did really well. They did the right thing. The mayor of the island, Sergio Ortelli, and Costa Cruises agreed that a large boulder that was wedged in the hull would be removed from the side of the vessel and be positioned on the island as a memorial to the 32 people who lost their lives.
Okay.
So there were good people in this, but unfortunately a shit captain.
Mm.
And it was very early on in the journey as well, so pretty harrowing experience.
That's like a lot of good people. Like so many were saved as well.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. Yeah, 32 lost their lives, which is horrendous. Plenty of people were injured, but that still is
Could have been way
under 100
worse.
people when there was 4,000 on board. Like it's
If there weren't people like the get on the boat, you coward guy.
Yeah. And the crew hadn't just got into gear and just done their jobs regardless of their hopeless captain. Air Force, there was a lot of, there was like the Navy, the Coast Guard, the Air Force. Like there was a lot of help there very quickly. But yeah, bit of a, obviously not a happy ending, but a pretty wild story and one that a lot of people wanted to hear. It was voted on by the Patreons and it won. It was a bit of a tight race between 3 of the 4 topics. One they were not into.
Oh.
But this one sort of just won.
What year was it?
2012.
I'm trying to think of why I don't really remember I know the name, but I don't remember that story at all.
I just kind of remember it being in the news. I mean, I was probably studying journalism at the time.
Oh, yeah.
But I remember I've got the image in my head of the ship sort of on its side.
Sunk.
Yeah.
Like, or half poking out of the water.
Yeah,
that's
that's
what I
right.
remember too,
Yeah. But yeah, there you go. That's the story of the Costa Concordia.
Did you say the name of his book? I just looked it up.
What is it?
La Ferita Submerse, which I put into Google Translate as The Submerged Truths.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
That seems, even that,
That feels a bit yuck,
the fact
doesn't
that
it?
people lost their lives in the boat, man. Like,
Yeah.
come on.
It's pretty poor taste.
Well, if he has been scapegoated and none of that is true, and he was the hero of the day,
Yeah,
okay,
you'd want to tell your truth.
of course.
Uh,
I live to tell my truth.
It'd be awful if the whole system made up a lie about you, made you sound like you're this incompetent guy when none of it was true.
Yeah.
I imagine which is probably what he's saying. And if
Yeah.
you take his word for it, and I don't see why we shouldn't.
Yeah, I mean, it's somebody who has done that sort of sail by 3-4 times and decided to turn off the navigation systems because
Yeah.
he could do it by sight without his glasses at night. And I think I trust somebody like that.
Yeah. But did he say he did that? He says he did that, or is that another lie?
No, he said that one.
Okay. Yeah, he's oh boy.
No good, but
No
he's
good.
in prison.
Yeah, well, there's that little happy ending at the end.
There is.
Hey, thanks so much for that story, Jess.
A pleasure.
It was, yeah.
Well, I think we should
Wild
check
tale.
in and ask, how do you feel about going on a cruise ship now, Matt?
Look, I'd still be up for it. I think it would depend on the cruise ship. Like if it was a Kiss cruise,
Yep.
I know
Yeah.
that they're probably not doing them anymore. Now they've retired.
Recently read about there used to be Backstreet Boys cruises. Would you be interested?
Yeah, I'd go on one of these. Like I think there's a few metal cruises, a few punk rock cruises, comedy cruises are big.
Yep.
Podcast cruise. I haven't heard of them yet, but maybe we could do one.
Well,
Yeah,
that's
on
why not?
international
Though
waters.
Jess does get horrendously seasick. so
Yeah,
it
I will not be able to
difficult.
perform, but I could be there
What I assume we'd do is
in a toilet.
we'd have you. Oh yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
I was thinking like a helicopter, and you just hover just above the
Oh,
ship.
perfect.
Yeah,
And you'll be able to hear me really well.
yeah. So you'll have to yell.
Yeah.
Sort of not that different than normal. That brings us. I think that brings us to everyone's favourite section of the show, where we thank some of our great supporters, and they are involved via patreon.com/dogoonpod. You can get involved there too. Dave, what are some of the things they can get involved with there?
They can get 200 bonus episodes. Plus, we put out 3 new ones every single month. And what else? You get pre-sale tickets to live shows, discounted tickets, access to the Facebook group. You get to vote on 2 out of the 3 topics. You get what? I mean, this
Early access to tickets.
Yeah, he
you
said
talked
that.
about that.
Said that.
Have you talked about the nicest corner of the internet?
Yeah, I talked about that.
Have you talked about
That's everything then.
No, maybe it's everything. Hey, there's so many
voting
things.
you'll get to listen to the golden shiny Garys, which is probably about to be released. Will be released soon. That's our
Yeah.
a bonus episode where it's the podcast Night of Nights.
Exactly, where we get the Patreon supporters to vote for their favourite episodes of the year, their favourite guest reporter of the year, all sorts of topics.
Yeah.
It's basically like the Oscars, but
It's very
but
self-indulgent.
important.
But better. Yeah.
Yeah.
But meaningful.
Yeah.
And no dull speeches. It's all entertaining. And the first thing we like to do in this section of the show, when we're thanking these great supporters, another way, if you don't have the cash, you don't want a spot to support us like that at the moment, just telling a friend about the show, maybe
Yeah.
sending them a link to an episode you think they'd enjoy, warning them, of course, that it will take a couple of episodes to get used to the dog shit riffs.
That's right. You got to give us a chance.
Yeah, just give us a chance.
Give us a go.
Please, come on.
Jesus.
Please.
Don't be like that. Give us a chance.
It's crazy.
But the first thing we like to do is a section called Fact, Quote, or Question section. I think it has a jingle, goes something like this.
Fact, quote, or question. Oh,
He always
boy.
remembers the
Oh, a
ding.
bit sharp there.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, bring it down. Go again.
Ding.
Yeah, okay. He always remembers the ding. She always remembers the jingle and the sing. And if you want to be involved in this, go to the Sydney Scheinberg level or above, and you can give us a fact, quote, or question, or really whatever you like. A brag, a suggestion, recipes. We've had jokes. You can do whatever you like.
Yeah, it's really your time to shine.
And I'll read 4 of them out each episode. I'll read them out for the first time on the show. That's just me pre-excusing myself from stumbling over things. The first one comes from James Edwards, AK, and I believe, if I'm thinking about the right person, and this might be the sad thing, but I remember him as being a really great laugher.
Yes.
I'm thinking of the right guy?
That's correct.
In my stand-up show in London, maybe at the podcast as well?
That's right.
Silver Fox.
Silver Fox, correct.
And I think just saying...
Can relate.
I remember... Is this the guy from 5 years ago who really laughed at a show? Like, I remember him by name, the individual laughers.
Yeah.
I think he's one of the three. I think he's one of the three over the years.
Oh, my God. You're the one who actually laughed. Thank you so much.
So nice to see you.
But he had a particularly big laugh. So much so that I think he apologised about it. And I'm like, you never apologise.
As somebody with a big laugh, we are made to feel like shit about it sometimes.
Which is so weird.
Yeah.
You're the ones doing the thing that you should be doing.
I'm quite self-conscious about my laugh, to be honest.
The quiet laughers, they should be ridiculed.
They should go fuck themselves.
I know I am one of those.
Yeah, fuck you.
Fuck you, Matt.
That deserved more.
Even Dave sometimes does a...
Yeah,
so that's good.
That's him giving you something when he doesn't think you deserve anything.
Correct.
Oh, that's me struggling to breathe.
That's him. That's a cry for help. Anyway, James Edwards has given himself the title of the Rich Irish Wristwatch Washer.
Ooh.
Oh, hang on. I was halfway through, but I'm like, this is specific, but that was designed to F me up.
And you did it, though.
And I apologize for the language.
That was really
there.
good.
James asking a question, writing, "Hey, lovely people, brag and question this time. At the time of writing, I'm sitting in my office daydreaming about my upcoming holiday.
Oh.
Vacation for Americans.
Yeah.
I said that.
What holiday?
Yeah. That's what a woman said to me in the bar. I told you that.
Yeah.
Great anecdote. Great anecdote worth repeating.
Anecdote.
Another great anecdote from Matt Stewart.
How does he do it?
It's so sad that I not only tell these bad anecdotes once, but you're like, yeah, you've already told that one.
Yeah, we know, champ.
We already know this. It doesn't go anywhere.
Anyway, James's holiday.
On the 16th
Vacation.
of December, I mean, that's right in the review mirror for us now. My husband and I will fly from London to Madrid for 3 nights, then to Miami for 1 night. Oh, it's a triple M holiday because then they go to St. Martin for a couple of weeks.
Oh.
Madrid, Miami, Martin. I don't know if I'm saying that right. There's double A, so that's a stretch out the A sound. Going for a couple of weeks, flying home on New Year's Day. We have been planning the trip for months and clang because I don't like to fly long distances other than in business or first class. It's costing a bomb. Do not say that at the airport. But it made me wonder, if money was no object, where would you travel to?
Oh, man.
Hope you're all well and have had a fab Christmas and New Year. Thanks so much, James.
Thank you so much. If money's no object, I'm going everywhere. And I'm going everywhere, at least business. Premium economy minimum.
I love the idea of you're like, unlimited money? Well, premium economy for me.
Yeah, I could go first. No, first feels too fancy.
Yeah, I feel uncomfortable
And
up
I'm
there.
also, like, I can be a bit of a picky eater. And sometimes I see people in the first class, I'm like, I don't want to eat that.
All right.
Maybe-
Oh my gosh!
maybe
You don't,
business.
They give you a menu and you get to pick.
I know.
You
But
get
even then, I'm like,
options.
too fancy.
You get options. You'd rather have the slop up the back
I'm
with the
not
rest of us.
saying I'm flying economy, David. I'm saying business.
You're in premium economy with an extra 5 centimeters.
Yeah, that's the good stuff. Are you in 2s in premium economy? Or are you still like, is there still a 3? Because essentially what I want is just to be able to just sit next to my partner and no one else.
I think you do. I think you do want premium because once
We're
you
in
get
love, you
once
see.
you get up to business. Once you get up to
So we've got special guests on board today. They're in love. Please make them very welcome.
I
It's
just
Jess
mean, like,
and partner.
Jess and partner, thank you. I don't know, just sometimes I'm like, I don't want a stranger there. I
Yeah.
don't mind climbing over him when I need to pee or anything.
But if you're up in first, you don't even see your partner for the whole trip.
Fuck,
You're in your
okay.
own little
Oh,
bed.
really?
now I'm listening.
You don't.
You're not like in a bed. You know, I'm not speaking from someone who's ever been there, but when you walk through, you look like their seats are so big and they've got a bit that goes up.
They're in
that-
their own
I'd
little
never
room.
dare look.
Yeah.
I know that I just assumed that one of the hosts would be like, or hostess, they'd be
Chase
like,
you with a broom.
they'd be like, whoa,
Whoa.
no eye contact.
Yeah.
That's
Eyes
Kelsey
forward.
Grammer in there or something like that.
Eyes forward, plebeian. Plebeian.
Plebeian. Yeah.
So yes, you'd go everywhere.
Everywhere.
Which, no offense, cop out answer. Dave, what about you?
2 answers. I'll answer for Jess because she gave a
Antarctica,
cop out.
Dave. I'll answer for Dave.
Oh my god, 3 answers. Antarctica. But I'd love to go on an African safari
Oh,
yes.
because there are different levels. There are some very, very, very expensive ones. So
Yeah.
if money was an option, I'd go there. And the Galapagos Islands
Ooh.
is so expensive to visit, but I'd love to go.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'll just tag along with Dave.
I'd go to the Maldives.
Oh, very nice. And stay in one of those beautiful.
Yeah. Where I have like a hammock over the water. I can just jump straight into this beautiful turquoise water. I'd do that.
You can use the hammock
that'd
like a slingshot.
amazing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know where I'd go, but I'd go to some of these places that just look sick. You know,
Yeah.
I just want to go to those places. You're like, whoa! I can't believe I'm here. I always think about those Canadian peaked ice-capped mountains with the lake in front, where a moose, a beaver riding a moose across in the foreground or whatever.
Yeah.
I want to be in those sort of places.
Can I blow your mind for a second, though?
beaches.
Can I blow your mind?
You have not seen that.
No. I'm just going to say that, like, you could. It's all about attitude. Like, you could look at this room and go, "Whoa!
Okay.
I can't believe I'm here."
Yeah. Okay. It's going to take a bit of work, but yeah. Whoa. Yeah. Whoa.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, we're in a fairly hot grey room right now.
It is.
That's pretty cool.
I'm picturing myself.
Yeah.
With Dave and Jess.
Yeah,
That is honestly nowhere I'd rather be right now.
correct.
But yeah, I'd love to go to some of those cool looking places. Northern Lights,
Yeah, 100%.
Australis, or what did you call it? Aurora Australis?
Yep.
I'd love to check out these sort of places. Was it a few weeks ago we did an episode about Antarctica?
Yeah, looking
Yeah.
at the order of things.
Well, we
Yes.
recorded a few weeks ago anyway. Yeah,
It was 2 weeks ago for the people at home.
Right.
So which has made me think, yeah, I'd love to go see some stuff like that. But I'd love to go to Africa, which is obviously a huge continent, and
big.
it's such a vague.
Yes, but I'd love to go to a southern African safari and
Yeah.
go to the Etosha National Park in Namibia.
I'd love to go everywhere. I'd love to go to the place. I'd love to do a go on tour of the world. Like go to, that episode I talked about a guy who broke out of a jail to climb a mountain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love to go to that mountain. Just sort of get
Do
around.
we have to go on this tour together?
No.
Oh, fuck yeah. All right, off you go.
No offense, Jess, but you're a rough travel partner. Dave can come.
That's fair.
Thanks.
You took that too well. I was just getting in before you, because you were like, I don't have to come to this, dude. No, I don't want you to anyway.
I don't want to because you suck.
Thank you, James, for that great question. You just
Enjoy your trip. Oh, no, it's already happened.
hope you enjoyed your
I
trip.
hope it was great.
Yeah, it sounds amazing.
But yeah, it's those sort of questions just really just let you have a little dream.
It's nice to
That's
dream,
a nice
isn't
little
it?
gift you gave us there, James. Next one comes from Pete Holberton, aka Field Marshal of forgetting to submit a fact quote or question. Well, you've failed in your job right here, I assume.
And you're fired.
Having a few beers with Pete after the live Christmas special.
Yep.
I was great talking about, because I was talking about him like he works for NASA, and he's like, I don't work for NASA. But I'm like, oh, sorry. He's like, yeah, I know, it's just an interest of mine. I'm like, oh, okay. So I'm going, okay. He's like, he probably works at a milk bar or something. I go, what do you do? He says, I'm a data scientist. I'm like, well, that sounds like a NASA
Yeah.
person to me.
I'm a data scientist for NASA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't work for
Yeah,
them.
but I'm not an astronaut.
Yeah,
You're like,
yeah.
Yeah. They get a bit upset, the astronauts,
Yeah.
if you start telling people you work for
They
NASA.
are real princesses.
Anyway, Pete has, the Shiny Gary missile man. No, what's his?
Fucking hell.
He's
Steely-eyed.
Steely-eyed
You're right.
missile man. And Pete has written a fact, writing, the Windy City nickname has nothing to do with Chicago's weather. Oh, I found this out in Chicago recently as well.
I have never heard this.
It was coined by 19th century journalists who were referring to the fact that its residents were windbags and full of hot air. Apologies to any Chicago listeners. I'm sure it doesn't apply anymore. Go Bulls.
Rude.
So I did a tour. I did like a boat tour, and the tour guide mentioned that, but I thought she said it was about the politicians there or something, the Windy City. But also, because it's actually not a particularly windy city.
Ah.
I think.
It's kind of disappointing. I was going to enjoy the wind.
And the other thing, that the second city, their other nickname, I always just assumed because it was the second biggest city, which I think it used to be, but the city burnt down and a whole new city was built.
Oh, shit.
So that it's like the second Chicago city.
Right.
I mean, these are things I heard when I'm over there. Chicagans are probably
And
yelling at their iPods.
did you say
right
you
now.
went on a cruise? You're on a boat.
No, on a boat, yes.
Did you go down the river?
I'm going to talk about that.
Oh!
Well, this episode will already be out, but I'm doing a bonus episode where I'm recapping my recent American trip, which would have come out last month when listeners are hearing this now. But I'm going to talk about that little Chicago.
By the river, because I once did a Patreon bonus episode about the
and
Dave.
I was thinking about it on that very trip.
The if you want to check it out, the Dave Matthews Band Chicago River incident, where allegedly Dave Matthews Band, one of their tour.
No, I think they got done for it.
Later got done for it. The bus driver
dumped a load.
Released the poo tanks.
A payload.
A payload, and it landed on a boat.
No one's
tourists.
hearing this and going, oh, I better sign up to hear that. No one wants to hear that.
It was a fun episode, though, wasn't it?
Yeah. I remember we recorded that during lockdowns. I reckon I remember sitting in my bed.
Yeah,
being grossed out.
I needed a poo story to keep me going.
Oh, my God. The next one comes from Sam Cutler, aka Sam Spamalot II. And Sam's offering a brag, writing, oh, hey, my 3 favorites. Stop it, Sam. Hope you remember me. I do remember you. You remember me?
Sorry, Warwick Kappa, that's why I laughed.
That's
remember me?
Remember me? Warwick Kappa bit. Have we ever talked about it on the show?
We have, I'm sure.
That was the biggest thing on the footy fields. Tight white shorts. Long ball knocks.
Just an 80s football player who's known for saying outrageous things, and we love to quote him.
And, he was featured a lot on Tony Martin's radio show. Anyway, hope you remember me. I'm the one who likes to make Matt say, "ee," and the one he ignores on the street. Ha ha. My film, The Smeds and the Smooths.
Oh, yes! I remember this.
Has gone on to be nominated for an Emmy. You remember the second bit. You just forgot the time that outside the English show, one of the English shows, she was telling me how she called out to me and I didn't turn around because I just assumed she was talking about a different Matt.
Oh, right. I forgot that bit. But I definitely remember the Smeds and the Schmooze.
The Smeds and the Schmooze. Anyway, it's been nominated for an Emmy.
Congratulations. That's
Huge.
incredible.
And update, they won.
Whoa!
One step to the EGOT.
Oh, my gosh.
That's so exciting. Says, ha ha ha, Kermit victory dance. Yay. I happened to be in Japan on holiday, so spoiled, hiking up to a shrine when my co-director, Dan Snadden, phoned and told me the news.
Wow.
I just stood there bawling my eyes out and really freaked out some other American tourists coming up the path.
Well, that's something you never forget.
That sounds like you're speaking from experience. How many Emmys have you won, mate? I'll maybe sit this one out.
No, if you get a phone call like that whilst you're in such an incredible
Yes.
location, that's like, holy shit, this is wild.
Just wanted you all to know that through working on the film every day, I would listen to you guys and any tough things that were happening just melted away. Humungo Hugsy. I hope I'm reading this as you've intended it.
Hamundo Hugsy.
I think that's exactly how.
And to you too.
And to you.
Humungo, like huge hugs, I think is what.
Yeah.
Also, an extra silly anecdote I thought might be fun to share. 2 days after I got my Emmy news, I was thoroughly convinced to do the super touristy things and dress up as a samurai at another shrine. I know, Sam Urai. The lady told my friends and I that if we dressed up, we would also get to see some things from the museum that they had brought out just for this week. I had already worn some interesting hats and kimonos, so we were politely trying to leave, but the samurai gear looked so cool, I gave in and said, yes, I will pay the fee and wear it. Once I was dressed, they were instructing me exactly how to stand and how to hold the sword accurately. The samurai suit was beautifully made and one they used for films, so I was being very careful not to damage it. The rules were I could take some pictures in the room with a view of the mountains in the back, and that would be it. At the end, I got a stupid idea and asked if I could do a silly last pose. The ladies agreed, and I lifted my leg into a ballet pose. The ladies gasped. I don't think I've ever done anything like that, but I'd love to one day do something that makes ladies gasp. Or anyone gasp, you know. They gasped and started clapping and calling other friends over to look at me. Next minute, I'm being taken outside for more photos by the maple trees. I couldn't get my shoes on, bending over, so the lady handed me a pair of men's Crocs. I tried to say thank you, but won't the other person need their shoes? The main lady said it's fine, he doesn't need to go anywhere. We took a bazillion photos as I danced about fully dressed as a samurai and drew in a big crowd. The impressed lady demanded we now go to the main temple. Oh my God, she's been shopped around now. She needed pictures for her website. She spoke English and was telling us tons of facts about the area. Walking along, it was also interesting. I kept forgetting why people were staring at me. Oh yes, I'm dressed as a samurai. At the temple, I ran up the stairs and a monk gonged the bell as if announcing me. I started to do... This sounds like a dream. Like, this doesn't sound like a real thing that happened. That must have been surreal, start to finish. Like, they're like, you can wear it for a fee, but you can only take some photos in this room.
Yeah.
Hang on. You can do a ballet pose. You've got the keys to the city.
You've got it, kid.
I started to do some more ballet poses, and all the Japanese tourists spun around and started taking pictures too. I had the giggles as I shifted from pose to pose. This was the weirdest thing to ever happen to me. Afterwards, back at the room, talking about the film company the ladies worked for, she asked what I did for a living. I said, I'm a director, and I'm super delighted that we just won an Emmy 2 days before.
Oh, my God.
She immediately whipped around and translated in Japanese for everyone around us. Before I knew it, a group of 20 people were clapping and congratulating me and cheering. Getting so much love from a bunch of strangers was so sweet and unexpected. It was the most wonderful day. Oh, and I did give the poor guy's shoes back too. Haha. Much love to you guys. Keep doing the thing. And more episodes being scientists, please. Oh, yeah. That's some bonus episodes. Well, that's not us. There's people who sound like us who do a science show on the bonus feed called The Science Hour.
I don't think they sound like us. They sound completely different.
They do sound different. Yeah, they're science outsiders. We're mainstream science types. So there's one of the guys really likes ducks.
He likes ducks a bit too much.
Too much.
Yeah.
It makes me uncomfortable when I meet him.
Same.
Finally, Dave, there you go. She finishes by saying, Dave, Gary telling me my duck facts is my best. Okay, bye.
What does that mean?
Yeah, no, there's a guy on the show called Dr. Gary Chalk, and he gives duck facts. I don't know why she's addressed that to you.
Okay.
He does. I guess if you squint your ears, he sounds a bit like you. Thanks, Sam. Oh, that's the third one. The final one this week comes from Michael Dorissi, and his title is, I'm 33, the same age as certain carpenter that we know of. Huh. You know my mate Ben.
You don't have any young friends.
Young friends, 33. Come on.
All right, mate.
You need to move
Father
on.
time over here.
Yeah, well, I'm saying I was 33 once, and even I know that's old. No offense to her 30. That was just directed at Jess. Okay.
I'm 33.
Jesus,
Am I 33?
Yeah.
Okay.
32. 33.
That's what I forget. I'm 33.
Okay, the 2. Yeah, 33. It's easy because you were born on a 0 year. You should be quite easy to remember. Anyway, it's a fact from Michael, and that fact is you 3 are wonderful. Oh, Michael.
Oh my gosh.
I'm going to say that's a fun fact.
Thank you so much to Michael, Sam, Pete, and James. The next thing we like to do is shout out to a few of our other fantastic supporters. Jess normally comes up with a bit of a game based on the topic at hand.
Yeah, I'm going to give them, or we're all going to give them a job on the ship.
Oh, ship job.
I've looked up like actual positions on a ship,
Oh,
like crew,
great.
but we could also include like entertainment, food services, etc.
Yeah.
So they've got a job. They're all working on the cruise ship,
Great.
and they're happy about it. They're getting paid really well.
Oh, thank God.
You know, I didn't want everybody to be like, "Oh, great, thanks."
Are they all
thanks.
competent?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, great.
Best. They're the best in the biz. It's top of the line cruise.
They're that certain Italian soul, the competent, heroic one.
Yeah.
All right, if I can kick us off, I'd love to thank from Littleton in Colorado in the United States. It's Noah Palmbooth.
Great name, Noah.
Noah Palmbooth on a highway.
Do you think Noah's a musician?
Yes.
Wow. Music.
What kind of musician?
Acoustic guitar.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And playing like, so maybe not playing at like the 3-level theater, but maybe playing like
No,
in
it's
a
in the
cool
corner
bar.
of the bar, yeah.
Yeah,
And
that's
he's doing,
cool.
Yeah, doing a few originals, but also covering a lot of mossy.
Yeah, great.
You got the honey, maple syrup moss.
Yep.
And, yeah.
I'm sure that means a lot to Noah.
I
And,
think that will. I'm
Littleton.
sure Noah's a big listener, and he'll know all about maple syrup moss and his solo career as well as his career with Cold Chisel. Thanks so much, Noah, for all you do. From Rhodes Corner in Nova Scotia, I reckon in Canada, it's Jen Meister.
Jen Meister is the person that holds the limbo stick.
Oh.
Jack be nimble, Jack
If
be
you got to hold it all day. You got to be
Jen
very
Meister
strong.
Yeah.
Holding the limbo stick.
Gotta be strong, but you also have to bring like a fun party vibe.
Yeah, yeah.
To be encouraging people to limbo.
Hey,
And
come
there's
on.
got to be a skill to sort of dancing,
Yes.
but also holding a pole still.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's a good job.
And yeah, we trust you with it, Jen. You're the best in the biz.
Thank you, Jen.
Finally, from me, I'd love to thank from Glasgow in Scotland, Lachlan Calderwood. Oh, I lost that if I ever had it.
Lachlan.
Lachlan Calderwood.
Nailed it.
Lachlan.
Lachlan.
Lachlan is the quartermaster.
Wow, what do they do?
There's a relatively senior soldier who supervises stores or barracks and distributes supplies and provisions. So I think when I Googled positions on a ship, it was more thinking like a battle.
Yeah.
But I stand by it because you never know what you're going to encounter
Yeah.
out on the high seas.
And in the they have different jobs in peacetime.
That's right.
We're just looking after coins, American coins. Yeah.
He's master of the coins, I would
Yes.
argue.
Dave, you want to thank a few?
I'd love to thank from Bundura right here in Melbourne. It's Cass.
Cass.
Cass. What about Cass is the cloche cleaner.
Or cloche cleaner.
A lot of fancy meals on this fancy schmancy
Yes.
ship.
Or
A lot
the
of cloches.
cloches.
A lot of cloches. Got to keep those things shiny.
That's right.
Yeah.
Cloche cleaner.
Cloche
Cass.
cleaner.
You don't
Cash
want
cloche
like a cloche that's got like
Fingerprints
Finger-
and...
Oh, yeah, yuck.
Yeah.
I don't even want to eat it.
I want a clean cloche.
Exactly. If you
Yeah.
can't keep the cloche clean, they can't keep the kitchen clean. That's my theory.
That's
Yeah.
correct. I agree.
I'm getting out and I'm walking our way.
Dirty cloche, dirty kitchen. That's
Yeah.
what I
Exactly.
think.
Dirty cloche, dirty cook.
That's right.
Yep.
That's what I said.
Cook hasn't washed their hands.
That's right.
Yeah.
So I don't watch
Poppy's
that
getting a
cloche.
little sloppy.
An important job there, Cass, and we appreciate your work,
Well done.
especially because we're fine dining every night.
And
Every
also,
night.
Cass, you're just hiding the fact that the kitchen is disgusting.
Thank you for hiding
You're
that from me.
tricking
Ignorance is bliss.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I would like to thank now from Nuriupta.
Oh.
Nuriutpa, rather. Have you heard of that? In South Australia, apparently.
No.
Thank you so much to Cara Jones-Riedel.
Cara Jones Riedel.
Well, I
Very
think
good, pa.
MC of the speed dating night.
Oh, great one.
Yeah, that's good.
You get a bit lucky in love on the ship.
Yeah, ding ding, time to move around.
Yep.
Hey, if you've made a connection, don't worry. You can pop each other's names down on the list at the end.
Yep.
But we got to keep moving. Sorry, that does mean, Janice, you are going to have to sit with Doug for 5 or 2.
And
How long do
Doug is disgusting.
Doug is gross. We've all
But
agreed.
Yeah.
We've put 2 hotties either side of Doug.
Yeah.
So it's sort of like
Don't
you
worry.
just get it over and done with, and then it's back to the hotties.
Don't worry, Doug's in the middle of a Greg sandwich, and both the Gregs here tonight are smoking.
They are smoking, and they're both doctors.
Yeah,
if that
Dr.
matters
Greg
to you.
1, Dr. Greg 2. Phew, you take your pick. I'm
Yeah.
happy with either.
Yeah. Hey, you take your pick. I'll have whatever. I'll have your sloppy seconds. You know, and that's just some of the fun that Cara brings to the role.
Yeah,
Good
yeah.
on you, Cara.
On your car.
And finally, from me, I'd like to thank from Sacramento in California, it's Tanya Sirotina.
Well, Tanya, can I say this to you? Go Kings, a real basketball team.
Yeah, they definitely exist.
that definitely exist. Still.
Mm-hmm. And Tanya is on the ship as in the chorus line of a full-fledged musical they're putting on in the
Fantastic.
3-tiered theatre.
And is it a musical we know of, or is it original?
It's an original.
Oh, great. What, do you remember what it's called?
It's called Ship Ho!
Ship Ho.
Yeah.
Great to have
Nautical
a theme.
themed.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. A lot of
And
tap
it's about
dancing.
a woman on a ship
Yes.
who goes to finishing school, ship finishing school. She starts as a ship ho.
Yes. And
But
she
she's
becomes
been
a ship lady.
But in the end, she realizes that there was no problem with her original form,
Yeah.
and she goes back to ship hoeing it up.
She's a happy ship ho.
Yeah.
It's beautiful stuff. It's a beautiful story. Sorry
Yeah,
we spoiled it
beautiful
for you
message.
there, but it's really nice.
Yeah, great.
It does have an interval because it's quite a long
That is
show,
long.
but it's worth it. I mean, you're on the sea. What else are you going to do?
It's a
come
slog, actually. At parts, it is a slog.
Parts of it do drag. I do have notes for them, but Tanya
Yes.
is incredible.
A lot of exposition.
That's right. Too
Oh.
much, I'd say.
Oh, Greg. What are you doing here? How's my mind working? Greg. Oh, Greg, my cousin
Yes.
from Nebraska.
Yeah.
Fancy seeing you here at our grandfather's Wake.
Yeah.
He died recently of an aeroplane crash.
Yeah.
You probably know this, but just recapping in case.
Yeah, there's ways to do exposition, and this show has not done it well.
No, it hasn't figured out how to sort of weave it in quite.
It's sloppy.
Yeah, sloppy.
Could I thank some people?
Sure.
I would love to thank from Banning in California, Tori.
Oh,
Tori from Banning.
Tori from Banning.
But Tori is in charge of lost property.
Oh.
With 4,000 people, there's a lot of lost property.
A lot of lost property, and nobody's as on top of it as Tori.
But at the same time, if it's not claimed within the end of the cruise, Tori gets to keep
Tori
it
gets
all.
it,
Yeah. And Tori just then sells it off Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah, it's just actually a great side hustle.
It's so good. Tori's actually crushing it.
Yeah.
Because these rich people are always dropping their diamonds off the side of the boats. Tori's in a little scuba suit. She's picking them up.
I'll get that one.
Thank you.
Yeah, which is sort of outside the scope of Lost and Found, but she'll go there.
She goes above and beyond, is what I'm saying.
She'll get them. She'll hold them.
Yeah.
She won't actively find you, but if you find her, then she probably will
She'll
cough
probably
it up.
give it back to you,
Yeah.
unless it's quite valuable.
Yeah,
and then
then
she'll
she's
say,
like,
oh, no,
I
it's
don't
no
think
MacBook Pro. No.
Never seen anything like that.
Oh, I'll keep an eye out for you.
Yeah.
What was your name and number? I'll just write it down.
Yeah.
It's a fake pen.
Yeah.
She's just miming
Just miming
it.
it.
But they're
Yeah,
rich
got
and
it.
stupid.
Yeah.
They don't know.
exactly.
They don't know what real pens look like anymore. How much does some milk cost? What does a real pen look like? They have no idea.
So out of touch. So thank you, Tori. I would also love to thank from, is it Leicester?
Yeah, it's Leicester.
In Great Britain, I would love to thank Amy Latimer.
Amy Latimer from Leicester. Oh, now I know someone else in a recent Patreon thing had taken the role of cheese suggester.
Yes.
But what's something in that world? What if you get a cheese suggester? You've also talked about sommelier or whatever
Like
that
a
is.
wine
The wine
suggester.
guy.
Wait, a cheesemonger.
Cheesemonger. What do you think could be ship's cheesemonger?
Yeah, of course. I mean, some places have in a buffet, they have a whole section dedicated to cheeses.
Yeah, I like that. I've never seen it, but I would like to see it.
Yeah.
I've seen an omelette station.
Yeah, or pancake station.
When we're in at the Costa Concordia Podcast Festival. But I've never seen a cheesemonger. I want to see. I want to get a look at one of them.
So we're saying Amy is the
Amy is one.
cheesemonger.
Give me a look at you, Amy.
Amy's in charge. Maybe the cheesemonger is in charge of. It's like a sushi train, but it's a cheese train.
Ooh.
Amy's in charge of that.
Oh yeah,
I would shit myself
I would really. Yeah, I don't know if that's how I want to eat my cheese
from a train.
from a train that's just cycling around.
You don't know how to live.
I'm guessing it's like quite refrigerated. This chain.
Yeah, of
Train.
course.
Okay.
So thank you, Amy. I'm
If the
sorry.
galoshes aren't clean at the cheese train, I'm out.
I'm sorry if you are lactose intolerant, Amy. But you have a beautiful job. And oh my God, from Concord
What?
in New Hampshire,
Wow.
Stephanie Magnolia Vazzano.
Oh my god, that's an Italian name, I reckon.
Oh my gosh, it's
Oh
all
my
coming together.
God.
Oh my god.
Full circle.
What a name too. Stephanie Magnolia Vazzano. Concord. I'm gonna have to say
Sign language interpreter.
yes, that is what I'm gonna have to say.
Yes.
I'm gonna have to say that.
Important for accessibility. And just a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
And there's different types of sign language, isn't there?
Of course. Yeah.
So she
Well, Stephanie's
across them
actually knows quite a few of them too, which is very impressive.
Head of a team, is she the one, or because 4,000 people?
There is a team,
There's a team,
but
right?
Stephanie's
She's the head.
She's the head of the team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well done.
So
That's
very
a great
cool,
gig. Great
very
gig.
cool stuff. And you get to see all these amazing shows and just stand on the side of the stage and
Oh, right. So
interpret
yeah,
them.
Okay.
Important.
I thought you might have been
meetings.
roving the ship.
Just
Anyone-
interpreting.
Anyone need an interpretation here? No, that makes more sense. Yep.
She's not doing tarot readings.
Okay.
Anybody need a
No.
an Auslan interpretation or something maybe?
Oh, great work, Stephanie.
Beautiful.
Now that I understand your job even more, I love it. That extra little bit. Thank you so much to Stephanie, Amy, Tori, Tanya, Cara, Cass, Lachlan, Jen, and Noah. And the final thing we need to do is open up the Triptych Club. We've got 3 new members tonight. If you hear your name once I read it out, I'll lift up the velvet rope. Head on into the Triptych Club. Fear not. Once you're in, you can never leave, but that's a good thing.
Yeah.
And in there is we got everything you want. It's a bit of theatre of the mind here, but it's whatever you want it to be. There's a pool. There's a swim up cinema, dive in cinema.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we got it all in
And it
there.
can be both dry and wet, whichever.
Yeah,
You don't have
that's
to
up to
float.
you.
Don't have to float.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
got both dry and wet seating.
That's
Splash
right.
zones at the front.
Mhm.
If you sit up there, you will get wet. But Jess is at the bar.
Yep.
Dave's booked a band. He's also the MC on the stage. Jess, what's your drink tonight?
We've gone Italian.
Yeah.
We've got the limoncello.
Grazie.
We've
grazie.
got the Campari.
Va
We've
bene,
got
va bene,
Aperol
va bene.
Spritz.
Mi chiamo Matteo.
So we have a bit of everything, and then pizzas.
Oh, great. Mamma mia.
Absolutely.
My favourite
fantastic.
food.
Italian style?
No.
No, okay.
Couldn't get Italian style. They are Chicago.
Chicago
Deep
deep
dish.
dish. Oh, my God.
So it's a real slap in the face to Italians, but yeah, it's all I could get on short notice.
No, I like it. That's all I could get. We just couldn't get, like, Italian pizzas.
couldn't do it.
The more basic version. We couldn't.
I had to get the more complicated one.
Yeah. And Dave, you booked a band?
Yes, but I've heard there's been some issues. I wanted to have the 3 tenors this
Yeah.
week. Unfortunately, only 2 of them can make it. So we've got the 2 tenors.
Okay, which two?
The Spanish ones.
Yeah, okay.
Domingo and Jose Carreras.
Okay, great.
No Pav.
The Pav has backed out.
Oh.
Oh,
Sorry.
you get
sorry, everyone.
seasick.
But 2 out of 3 is pretty good. The 2 tenors.
Yeah. That is pretty good. Are they going to do... Whenever I hear of Placido Domingo, I think of this, in hindsight, very bad joke. But as a kid, I thought it was amusing. And I didn't really understand it. But they were saying that, the top, Paul McDermott would do like some a monologue thing.
At the start of Good News Week.
Yeah. And he said... Domingo was obviously in the news, and he said, also, he's going to be doing a musical, an opera about Australia's tragic tale from the bush called Domingo's Got My Baby.
I can imagine him giving that delivery exactly.
And yeah, I'm like, I don't know, I don't really get it, but it sounds
I
fun.
love it.
Yeah. And it's such a funny thing to be stuck in my head and attached to that man, Domingo. Anyhow, great work booking the 2 tenors. I don't think Pavarotti offered a lot to them anyway. Didn't add much.
Exactly. No. Who's ever heard of him anyway? What happened to him?
So I've got 3 people to bring in. Oh, hang on. No, there's only 2 inductees, Dave.
The 2 tenors.
It's the 2 tenors.
One
Oh
for
my
each tenor.
God.
So, Dave, you ready for this?
I'm ready for this.
If you hear your name, come on in. Make yourselves at home. From Sydney in British Columbia in Canada, it's Brandon Smith.
Please put your hand-ins together for Brandon.
Yeah. Woo, woo, woo.
And from Wadsworth in, oh my God, God's country, Ohio, it's Chris George.
Your wad's worth a lot to me, Chris George.
You're gorge, Chris George.
You gorge.
Like gorgeous.
God.
Like gorgeous.
I thought you were comparing Chris to a gorge.
No, you're not an
You're
emotional
a big
gorge.
gaping hole.
I'd love to gorge on Chris George.
Welcome in. Make yourselves at home. Chris and Brandon, please grab one of those many Italian treats or a Chicago deep dish pizza.
Sorry again.
That is, Jess has just whispered to me, it is too hot.
It's far too hot.
It's too hot. She doesn't know what's happened.
It will not cool down. I don't know what to do. Can somebody else take over food? It's just not working.
Jess, I don't know. You're using the same equipment we'd be using.
We need to do a reno of this kitchen. It's unusable.
Everything's set to hot.
Well, that brings us to the end of another episode. Thanks so much for joining us. Jess, anything we need to tell people before we go?
That if you would like to suggest a topic, you can do so. There's a link in our show notes or on our website, which is dogoonpod.com, which is where you can also find information about live shows if we have any coming up. And you can find us on social media at dogoonpod across all socials, Do Go On Podcast on TikTok. Dave, boot this baby home.
Hey, we'll be back next week with another fantastic episode. But until then, also thank you so much for listening and goodbye.
Later.
Bye.